Welcome to the Crimeycade. Another week, and doggone it, been in the deep freeze the last few days. Yeah, sub-zero weather and another round of snow, although it was just thankfully not a lot of snow. And then starting next week, we're going back to much warmer weather, more like spring weather. Yes, in Central Illinois, you can experience all four seasons within a span of 2 weeks: summer, winter, spring, and fall within a span of a few days. And yeah, last 2 weeks were no exception. But we're here back again for another podcast episode. And quick rundown before we bring in our guests. So we had the best of 7 challenge with Norbert Vale. Video of that is on the YouTube channel of King Can Black Man, Brandon Travis. He was the host, and these were the games that were drawn for the best of 7 challenge. We did not use all 7 games for this, but we each had a reroll, and Norbert Vale did reroll on one of the games when he was on the brink of defeat. That it was when he was at a 3-2 disadvantage. Crystal Castles was drawn, and he decided to use that reroll because for a better choice. The games were Samurai Showdown 2, Ketsui, KKJT, which is a cave shooter out of that was a Japanese exclusive. These were all, by the way, at the Goblin Ghost Arcade in Brookfield, Illinois. Ninja Warriors, Express Raider, Star Castle, and then the final game was TNK3. 2 of the games were drawn, Savaloo and F-Zero, which were both out of commission. So, if those games were working, this Best 7 challenge might turn out a little differently. But who won? I did prevail at 4 wins to 2. We did have an NFL Blitz match following this. Norbert Vale won. He played the Bears. I played the Broncos. He won 24-17. Is much closer than we thought. Now Norbert Vale won the Blitz 99 tournament the day before the Super Bowl on February the 8th. But go check out our battle, Best of 7 challenge on YouTube. It's on the King Can Black Man YouTube channel. And be sure to follow my Facebook page at facebook.com/Crimeycade. I need 100 followers. Now I'm sitting there at 69. And new house highs at the Goblin Ghost Arcade. I made a trip back up there over the weekend, and because it'd been about a month, and I needed to regain some ground, although I didn't get as much ground as I thought I was going to get. I was able to get 1 score up there. Strategy X, I took the house high 49,689. Andrew Wasco tried to take it back from me, but came up about 700 points short. He's probably attacking that again today. But he did 1 CC emergency call ambulance at just over 30,000. Norbert Vale did walk over to Final Fight Revenge and take the house high for that at 693,000 points. And finally, Crazy Taxi, Claudio Capello set a new house high for Crazy Taxi at the Goblin Ghost at nearly $77,300. Congrats. And the battle for tokens. I have moved back up to 4th place, passing Jamie Tibbetts, as which there will be a little bit of news on that as to how I moved up the rankings. And we're halfway through the season, the 15th season of the Goblin Ghost Arcade. And no clear frontrunner for the Gamer of the Year award. I'll have to explore that maybe next week, but pretty much the standings are still about the same, although one token difference between Mossies and Chris Plackey. Mossies is chasing scores, although he's just putting in scores for to collect tokens. And of course, the Arcade Wars is still ongoing. For Metal Slug, we are Goblin Ghost disqualified, but One Up Arcade right now is running away with it. We just need to get some players, and the Cardcade has been attacking these Arcade Wars games, so is the Underground Retrocade. Goblin Ghost, it's been a difficult time trying to get players, encourage players to play the Arcade Wars game and defend the honor of the Goblin Ghost Arcade. Now, you've heard about these challenge cards at the Goblin Ghost. I have finally completed my level 1 challenge card. The last one was Food Fight. The controller has been fixed. It is fully 100%. So I was able to grind away on that game until I broke 150,000. I got 150,700 points, just barely over the finish line. The game before that, I had 149,300, and I was like, ah, yeah. So this card is complete. If other gamers at the Goblin Ghost who have completed their level 1 cards want to tackle my challenge card, I have some on me. If I'm there at the Goblin Ghost Arcade, approach me and ask for it. I will give you one. I've given a couple of these out already. But now I have a new challenge card. This is my level 2 challenge card. And these are going to be harder for me to cross out. Samurai Showdown is going to be the easiest one because I just have to set a score. Emergency Call Items, I have to beat 10,500. E-SWAT, I have to get 400,000. Riot, which has been a thorn in my side, I have to beat the 3rd level boss. Andrew's done it. Hyper Sports, 43,000. That was a T20 game. Dragon Gun, I have to break 1 million. I have about 780,000, which was my last score I played, and I hadn't played in years. Dead Connection has given me a lot of trouble. I can only get about half of the score that they're wanting me to get, 100,000. Police Trainer 2, I have not even played that one yet. I need to get 80,000. Andrew Donos, they're encouraging me to get back on that game and take that score back from Andrew Iwasco, and they want me to break 500,000. I'm going to have to practice on that. Robotron. The last time I played Robotron, I nearly got 50,000. I got like 490. And they've upped the ante. They want me to break the next 100,000 mark. Well, 500,000 is the next mark I need to get over, but they want me to break 600,000. So this one is not going to be easy, but I will tackle all these challenges because the more cards you complete, the better your chances of winning the Gamer of the Year award. And I'm going to pull this up here. I don't have the belt, but this is my Gamer of the Year trophy. And right now, Justin Vithel has 2 of these right now and is the defending champion, but he's not been back to the Goblin Ghost Arcade. So I expect there to be a new Gamer of the Year for the year 2025. So we'll see what happens. All right, without further ado, my guest tonight. Now, one of my guests could not make it. Originally, yes, you're talking about Food Fight. Yes, you want to get that game. Yes, you've been waiting for well over a year to get that joystick fixed. However, you cannot submit scores on Food Fight right now because they've got to reevaluate the scoring track and the game settings because apparently they're wrong. So the house high is even in question. They may have to throw it out and redo it. Well, even when I was playing, the settings they tried to put in didn't really stick. But nonetheless, I got over the threshold and we're just going to move on. It's not going to count for Arcade, but we'll see. Yeah, I know. I tried to submit my score, but they didn't take it. And because of the game setting issue, it's not saving the settings. It keeps going to a default. Anyway, our guest at this time, and one of our guests could not make it in because of family obligations, but I believe our guest that we have tonight will keep things going for at least the next hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on how long-winded we are. Introducing first, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He has reached the Donkey Kong kill screen, and he is an arcade collector from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He is score chasing other games, but introducing first, Michael Massaro. I believe I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, you did.
Welcome in.
You did.
Introducing second, our other guest tonight. He has reached the kill screen on Dig Dug, playing on MAME from Los Angeles, California. Yes, he, as the card says, he defeated a record that stood for 16 years. But he's also chasing other scores. He wants to be introduced as KBB, which stands for Kobe Bean Bryant, who he is a big fan of, who had that track. Yes, Kobe Bryant, if you recall, had that horrific accident somewhere, helicopter accident back in California a few years ago. And he's also been having to, and my guess has also have been in the dealing with the LA wildfires recently. Welcome in, James Carter.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy KBB in honor of Kobe Bean Bryant. Yeah, so just really quick, the reason why I've used KBB is not a lot of people know this, but I'm going to share it on this podcast. I was actually friends with Kobe Bryant. He was a good friend of mine. We hung out on about 12 different occasions. So when I heard that he passed in 2020, it devastated me. Before I used Kobe's KBB, I used to go by Jam for James, Jam. But ever since January 26, 2020, I changed it to KBB in honor of him because we were friends.
How long did you know Kobe Bryant?
That's a good question. Personally, okay. I would probably say for at least 12 years, I knew Kobe.
All right.
So, but this is the crazy thing. When he was number 8 and single and wasn't with Vanessa, that's when we hung out. When he started his relationship with Vanessa and changed to 24, I had only seen him once. So
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's a crazy story of how we met as well. So
wow. Yeah, this isn't even a sports podcast, it's an esports podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm kind of on my high from the NFL season, but I can't seem to get into any other sport.
Okay.
I know March Madness is coming up real quick, and all the attention will be on that very shortly. And then baseball season follows. But I don't know. I don't have patience to watch sports, except some football. I used to watch pro wrestling all the time, but now I don't even have patience to watch it on TV. And of course, I was going to bring up before you came in, something that happened a couple of years ago because it was like an anniversary had passed. But things are getting a little chaotic. Things are a little bit too chaotic. I only have one guest booked for next weekend, and he's going to be the solo guest, which I'll mention towards the end of this podcast. And I'm about to be joined by the real star of the Crimeycade podcast, this goofball, Cody, who likes to crash the stream while I'm on air, hop in my lap, and then start start taking little nips like he always does. Yeah, say hello, Cody. Say hello to them.
What up, Cody?
What's up?
There's
Cody?
another one in the house, but I doubt she comes out here. She's basically sleeping on the couch, and he's probably going to climb on the keyboard too and the desk, and I'd have to scoot things around before he disrupts everything.
Come here. Hold on.
He's going to disrupt it.
Well, you know what? Cody gonna have a little buddy.
Here,
This
Cody.
is Battle Cat. This is Battle Cat, my cat. Battle Cat. Say hi, baby.
He's a black cat. I haven't had black cats in a long time. But...
Yeah, this is my baby right here. This is my papa right here. Say hi, Battle Cat. Look, there's Cody. Look at him. See him? See, baby? He's a little skittish.
I don't think he knows what's going on.
But it's all good. I love you, Papa. Yes, Daddy loves you. Okay. I'll put you back down.
I have to deal with this idiot.
So that's funny.
Sorry, I have no cats. So.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, we've had dogs crash the stream too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So let's get into it. You told a lot about yourself with at the very beginning. Mike, tell us about yourself here.
Well,
because I see all those arcade games behind you.
Where should I begin? Well, put it this way: what got me into video games in general? It's when I was a kid in diapers. It was all thanks to the Atari 2600. You know, we'll start at that at least, but. We know the revolution of gaming that just went on and on and on about Nintendo and Sega Genesis and so forth. But growing up as a kid, you know, I got to experience these arcade games like at my local mall, bowling alleys, Showbiz Pizza Place, Chuck E. Cheese, many, even department stores, you know, would have some of these arcade games. So like I grew up in the era of playing arcade games. But if we really fast forward, let's say, roughly around like 2018, 2019. So like it was around Thanksgiving 2017. That's when I was really starting to go back into the classic arcades again, where my main game's Donkey Kong. But then roughly around a year later, it was like in early 2019. That was when I had my first opportunity to actually purchase original arcade cabinets. It all started with a family that privately owned two arcades that I have here. One of them that they owned was Tron, and the other one is a Donkey Kong. And when I bought them, they were in non-working condition where I kind of learned a little bit like on some of the basic skills of repair, but we do have some people throughout the Pittsburgh area that are definite experts that I could definitely rely on. One name I definitely want to shout out, some of you may have seen him in arcade communities doing monitor repairs, is Mike Bear. Highly recommend his work anytime, any day. He's repaired at least 3 or 4 of my monitors. He does fantastic work. But yeah, I mean, it all started with me buying Tron and Donkey Kong. You know, and to me, that was a big achievement. But then all of a sudden, I see an Outrun for sale. I see a Mania for sale. And then it just goes on and on and on and on until about, it was like September of last year is when I purchased my 31st arcade cabinet.
That's a lot of cabinets.
Yes.
No.
I
just got people, said 31 cabinets. Sorry? We'll get 31 cabinets, so we'll have to go through all those as we go through this.
I'll try my best to show them all. Well, some of them are in the garage, and it's pretty cold outside. I can at least name some of the ones I have in the garage.
He's hoping to get in the hobby one day. I have games in my garage. They were formerly in the basement, but if I wanted to get any more games, I did not want to have to deal with stairs. It is dangerous to move a game up and down stairs, and
yeah,
I'm not the most tech savvy person that is working with electronics. I work with computers, but I'm not a soldering iron. Barely know how to use it. I can do very simple repairs, but repair monitor, forget it. I don't know how, and some of the time I don't even know how to get the monitor out of some of the games I have.
It's funny you say that because I'm not a soldering expert either. I mean, I have done maybe a couple attempts where there was one time I had the volume pots that were going bad on a chassis for an actual CRT monitor. And I bought the cap kit that you put the new volume pots on there. And I figure I'm going to give it a try. I watched a couple of tutorials. I mean, once you start doing it, it does get a little easier, but I successfully was able to resolder volume pots and they worked fine ever since. But yeah, anytime if there's like some complex soldering work, I go to some of the experts I know here in the Pittsburgh area.
And he says, Mike is a legend. First time chatter, welcome. Welcome in.
I appreciate being called a legend. I don't feel like I got to that point yet. There's still unfinished business to do.
Okay.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's Corey.
Oh, that's my buddy Corey. I know who Corey is. It's one of my friends that actually works at my job. And he's known me now for, like 9-10 years now.
Mm.
So let's get into your I guess I already got your gaming feats. What was the hook that got you into gaming? I know one of you said that you were like 3 years old and touching gaming controllers.
The Atari, yeah. Yeah, it was either my brother or my uncle. You know, we lived all in the same house at that time. I lived in a duplex house where we had the Atari 2600 and games that I can remember playing. Let's say it's roughly 3 or 4 years old, is like Space Invaders, Asteroids, Superman, Bowling, Combat, Outlaw, Breakout. I mean, those are some that just come immediately right off my head from when I first started learning how to play Atari. Even Missile Command as well.
Mm-hmm.
Were you a child of the 80s or the 90s?
I grew up... I was a kid in the 80s and my teenage era was in the 90s. I was born in 77.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was born in 71.
Same year as me.
Mm-hmm.
But you're slightly older than I am.
It's all good.
It's all good. Yes, it's all good. And you're going to celebrate a birthday in a few days as well.
Yeah, actually in 5 days, I'll be 54 years old, believe it or not.
My birthday is already passed up 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was Mikey's birthday. I remember. So.
Yep.
So James, what were some of your what was the hook that got you into gaming?
Basically, I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, and I don't know if you know much about that area, but it's a very bad area, just to say the least. And if you're not in the game, you're getting killed by one, basically, especially in the early 70s. But I got very lucky because of a couple reasons. My father was a professional gambler in the 70s, so a lot of people from my neighborhood knew who my father was, including the leader of the two gangs that were in South Central at that time. So because of that, I was I won't say protected, but I wasn't messed with. If they saw me, they were like, you know, that's Johnny's kid. You know, we got to look out for him. You know, things like that. But what actually got me hooked in the video games was basically I wanted to play football, but I was too small at the time. You know, I was like 7 years old, and I wanted to get into something that was fun. And a friend of mine named Robert Murphy actually took me to the arcade for the first time ever in my life. And I was just a little kid. I felt like a little kid in Candyland. I was like, this place is amazing. Is it all free? And he was like, no, you got to pay for quarters and stuff like that. And then the very first game I played is probably a lot of the very first games everybody played, which was Night Driver. I don't know if you remember that game from the 70s, but it's a really old game, and I got really hooked on it really quickly. And from that point on, any chance I got, I was in an arcade playing games. So yeah. And also like I said, my father was a professional gambler. So if I wasn't in the arcades, I was in the underground gambling hall that also had video games as well. So I basically just grew up around it. I fell in love with it instantly. And then by the time the 80s rolled around, I was like, I got to find me a game that I could become a world champion in. And I looked at a few games. I looked at Pac-Man and I was like, yeah, I'm good at that, but not good enough to break a world record. And then back in February, or should I say April of 1982, that's when I fell in love with Dig Dug. And that's when I played Dig Dug for the first time. Didn't know anything about it, just really loved the game. And so what happened was I was actually trained by Robert Murphy because he was an incredible video game player in LA, and he actually knew the patterns to Dig Dug at that time, and he taught them to me from the time I was 11 at that time, I guess. And so I learned by playing against my best friend in LA at the time, and he would always make me go first, and I always lost to him, but I always learned something every time I played him. It wasn't really a competition. He just kind of wanted me to take it seriously, like it was be competitive. And I was like, sure, I'm a competitive person. Teach me what I need to know. And then right before I moved out of South Central LA and came to the San Fernando Valley, a week before I left, he actually did two things he never did for me before. One was he let me go second, and the second one is I got actually good enough that I beat him legitimately on a tabletop dig dug at a Jim's Burgers in Inglewood. I beat him. And so we were on our way back, and I said, why did you let me go second? And he was like, I wanted you to take all this with you that I've taught you since you've learned Dig Dug the last couple of years. I want you to go to wherever you go, and I want you to show those people you're the best Dig Dug player in the world. And that's where I took it from. He taught me all the patterns I know. It's all South Central LA patterns from Dig Dug. I learned them. I mastered them at that time. And then also, not a lot of people believe this, and I don't care if they do, but I know it happened because I was there at the time. Also, at that same Jim's Burgers across the street from Jesse Owens Park, my mom used to work there, and so I used to have to be there all the time. So I started playing Dig Dug 3, 4, 5 times a day, and then it got to the point to where I got really, really good. Like I had actually broke like 3 million, 4 million as a kid. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I am good enough to become the best in the world. And so then I actually called the Guinness Book of World Record people when I was literally still in the 5th grade. And I went to that Jim's Burger and I skipped school on that Friday. And I actually broke 5.5 million on Dig Dug as a 12-year-old kid. It was literally 2 days after my birthday. I remember it like it was yesterday. And and like I said, there's some people in this, in this industry and, and off of Facebook, and people that know me and people that think they know me that don't believe I've ever hit 5.5 million on Dig Dug, but I have. And I remember it specifically because my mom was off work that Friday. When she went back to work on Saturday, that was all her coworkers could talk about, was that I broke the world record for Dig Dug. And so when she got home on Saturday, I got the ass whooping of my life. That's why I will always remember that. And you know what? Every time, every whap I got, I was like, it's so worth it because, I finally mastered the one game I fell in love with, which was Dig Dug. And so then I moved from South Central Los Angeles to Arleta, California, in the San Fernando Valley. And then like I said, it just tracked from there. I actually played Dig Dug probably from the time I was 11 all the way until I was like 25. And then I literally took a 20-year break off of Dig Dug. I don't know why. It just, sometimes life pulls you away from things. So life kind of pulled me away from Dig Dug for 20 years. And I was like, I want to break it again. I'm older. I'm a little slower, but I still got my skills from South Central. Can I do it? And I've always believed that I could do it. And so then I met this guy who's actually the surprise guest that's going to be coming on. I don't even know what time it is, in a little bit. He
8:30.
actually re-interviewed. Oh, okay. He actually got me back into playing Dig Dug competitively. His name is Kevin Allberger, and he goes by Who. Me and Mikey both know him really well. He's really close to both of us. And he is actually, and I'm going to tell you this on the podcast. I haven't been able to say this publicly until now. Kevin Allberger, aka Who, is the reason why I broke the MAME world record for Dig Dug, because he's the one person that pushed me to do it over everybody. So
that score has
there
been
you go.
verified by Twin Galaxies or a different scoring house.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was verified. But the thing was, they gave me the record. But then there were people at Twin Galaxies that asked if I use a thing called wolf MAME. Now, I still don't know to this day what that is. I guess it's a verification.
It's a variant of MAME.
You can tell.
Yeah, you run on a PC.
Oh, okay. You can tell in my videos. You can tell there's no cheating going. I've never cheated in a video game, and I don't need to. I'm too good, honestly, and I'm not being cocky about it. I'm just being honest. If I ever cheated at Dig Dug, I would quit playing because it's my heart. It's the reason why I play video games. Dig Dug and the original Street Fighter are the two best games that I'm the best at, because I am the MAME world champion in Dig Dug, and I'm also the California state champion in the original Street Fighter with Ryu.
So, I was going to say that Twin Galaxies has separate tracks for the actual hardcade machine and MAME. Mm-hmm. So they take MAME scores and they will track MAME and arcade machine separately. But you played on MAME, so there was somebody disputed your MAME run.
Because I didn't use wolf MAME, they didn't think it was fair. Yeah, they didn't think it was fair because I didn't use wolf MAME.
I don't know why they need to use wolf MAME. Yeah, I don't understand that one at all because I don't understand it either. To wolf MAME. Mikey could probably explain it a little better.
Yeah, I mean, I've experienced wolf MAME. I know it was like one of my older Donkey Kong high scores that I've done, which we'll talk about Donkey Kong eventually. But I think one of the reasons why wolf MAME is utilized is because in that version of MAME, it's in the settings where cheats are always disabled. And I think that's one of the reasons probably where Twin Galaxies prefer those options, just to assure that no one is enabling any cheat modes on the games, the arcade games themselves, maybe.
Well, it's also a matter of save state.
That too. And I know you can record. They're like INP files. It actually records your game frame by frame, because whenever you do submit those to Twin Galaxies, you submit that INP file that wolf MAME has generated while you're playing it. You submit that to them, plus a video like you see here with James's Dig Dug score, for example. Let's say he had an INP file of that. He would submit both to Twin Galaxies, and they have a version that they use on their side where they will look through the game, and I'm not kidding. I think they count actually frame by frame just to show that everything's valid, everything's cool, and then that's where it leads to being a valid score.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
Just arrived.
This is the.
Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead. No. Go ahead. If you're gonna do what I think you're gonna do,
we got time.
Okay. Well, they did. I can tell you this much: Twin Galaxies did verify it, and they did say it was a holdable score. That's why they gave me the record for a week on the site under MAME. I was the #1 Dig Dug video game player for about 8 days until people started complaining that I didn't use the wolf main. So they took it from me, which I think is very unfair. And I'll tell you why. Back in the old days, if you broke a score, especially a world record score, and you did it valiantly, the score was yours. There was no, back in the old days, man, in the 70s and the 80s, there was no wolf main, there was no verification, there was none of that. If you broke the score in front of people and you broke the score legitimately, the score was yours. And that's what I explained to Walter Day when I broke it, when they took it from me. And he said, you know what? You still earned a card because you did break it legitimately.
Oh, yeah.
He checked with Twin Galaxies, and Twin Galaxies told him I broke it legitimately. So he gave me my card. And that's how I got my card. Even though Twin Galaxies took the score from me, I still got my...
Or DQ'd it.
Yeah, they DQ'd it. But you know what? It's fine. You're always going to have haters. You're always going to have people that don't like what you're doing just because. And I've lived with that my entire existence. So that's why I'm used to it. And that's why I've learned a lot from Kobe Bryant. The way I handle things now versus the way I handled them when I was a kid in LA is like night and day, because I learned so much from Kobe Bryant on mentality, how to handle positiveness, how to handle a lot of negativity. Like, I trust and believe, man, that dude was incredible. He was an incredible person. And to this day, I am still grateful for everything I've learned from him.
Well, there's always scoring disputes, and I've been in a few of them myself because I'm chasing scores, although not on Twin Galaxies, but arcade.com at the Galloping Ghost Arcade. He has just arrived. He is, let's see, what was his claim to fame? Oh, he is one of the many players one of the few players who have reached the Pac-Man kill screen. He is heavily involved in classic gaming and pinball. He is our surprise. He's our surprise guest. His name is, I don't know where he's from. But it is Kevin Allberger. Welcome in.
What's up? Who?
Hey, Kevin. What's up?
Who?
What's
Yes.
going on?
The
What's
Who.
up?
The Who.
The Who.
I just recently ordered this online because I want to start wearing it when I go to my arcade tournaments, and I did it the way it should be. I did the correct font, so this is what I'm gonna start wearing at my thing.
There you go.
Wow, I love it. That's amazing. I love it.
That's the front, and then of course, that's
Oh
the
yeah,
back.
I love it, man. That's you. That's you all day, man. That's you all day.
That is the correct arcade font that I wanted to put on there, and I found a website, and they did a really good job. So,
wow, that's amazing, bro.
Awesome.
that's me.
It is in Windows is EMU Logic is the font name that matches up the video game font.
Yeah.
Which is why all my graphics have all arcade letters.
Is KBB, you playing Dig Dug right now?
No, that's a video that I did when I broke it and I got the back to back.
I was going to say, I didn't think you were playing right now.
Yeah, no.
This is his kill screen run a couple of years ago, I believe.
Yeah.
4.2
million.
Yeah, no, this was back in April. I did 4.3 million on this video. Yeah, 4.3.
April of 24?
Yeah, April 24, 2024, I think it was.
Okay. So it was like a little less than a year ago.
Yeah, a little less than a year ago.
Have you submitted this score?
No, not officially.
Okay.
I should, but all I'm gonna do is go through the same thing that I went through last time. They're gonna verify it, say it's legitimate, and then the minute they find out I didn't use Wolfmane, they're gonna disqualify it, just like they did before.
What if you played this on one of those arcade one-ups?
Not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know if it's not the same, but I think it's tracked separately.
You got to have the right controls.
They do track it separately. Yeah,
they do. I would think they track it separately.
I've seen some of the arcade one-up game listings. I put my Galaga game on there, and it got easily verified. I mean, it just uses an arcade one-up, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although maybe you have to, maybe you're gonna have to find an arcade somewhere. Have them have the operator set it up to the correct settings.
Yes.
Video the board after
Yeah.
your run is complete. Set up a camera. Make sure it's plugged in. Make sure it has. Yeah, you could set up a Twitch stream and at some arcade somewhere, and then do a kill screen run.
So
Or
yeah, James, I think at some point, I know you and I will have to follow up together. Where see how I can try to have you set up, install MAME, like on your PC.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I can tell you. I mean, I know with my computer background knowledge, I mean it's a piece of cake, but for some people, it could be a little complex, and that's perfectly fine. But we'll have to try and see if we can work something sometime soon. And
no, definitely.
See if I can guide you to get it installed, and then you have the games installed on there, and go from there. You put your high score up there.
Definitely.
Or you can come out to the Galloping Ghost Arcade in Brookfield, Illinois, and then make a run.
Oh, that is definitely in the cards. We've been talking about doing that for like the past 2 years. All of us have. We also have another member in our group called Baseface. He's actually lives by the Galloping Ghost, and we've actually talked about that.
He's an amazing Burger Time champion.
Yeah, he is the Burger Time world record holder. Period.
Like I said,
that dude is amazing.
I'm one of the former Gamers of the Year.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Oh, sweet.
Yes.
Kevin. Oh.
No. I was just gonna say, just really quickly, my overall goal is to first finish MAME, then to go after the arcade high score, then I'll go on after the arcade 1-up score, because I want to be the overall Dig Dug world champion. Period. Of every Dig Dug version that's ever came out. Arcade, MAME, arcade 1-up. I'm taking them all. And I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to make it happen. And as you see, my supporting cast directly under me, AK he's gonna make sure I do it. So I'm telling you now.
I always wanted to be good at Dig Dug, and when I first started playing it, I was struggling, and then I started to figure out how to finally dig trenches and stuff like that. And in 2 weeks, I went from 100,000 to 2 million that fast. So
yeah.
Kevin, introduce yourself, since we didn't get a proper introduction.
But you got my name right. That's good. It's Kevin Allberger. My initials are Who. I always put in Who. People always ask me why I do that. I don't know. Maybe a couple of reasons. I like the Who for one reason. I like the group The Who. And I kind of like the Doctor Who theme, so it kind of fits. And then I just think it looks cool on the machine. So and everybody's like, "Who's this Who guy? Got all the high scores on everything," So I live in Pennsylvania, north of DK Mikey. There, about 3 hours away from him. I'm close to the New York border. I live in a little town called Warren, Pennsylvania. I'm surprised it's even on the map.
How small of a town is it?
Maybe about 10,000 people.
It's not that small.
No, I grew up here, and then I moved to Jersey for 5 years. I lived in Nevada for 26. Lived in Vegas, did the whole thing. So, and then we just got priced out. We moved back here, and first thing I did when I get back here is I'm like, okay, I got to find some arcades, see if those exist out here. And
we just saw the kill screen, and where enemy spawned on top of Dig Dug, and he was on his last life, and that's it. Well, final score was
4,312,250.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. And you see round 0 at the bottom, which that is an integer overflow error. The game does not know how to handle number 0 because it was never defined, and then it glitches. And we're in the interact mode here, so let me hide this now and bring everybody back in.
Now, okay, just really quick, I've never gotten a chance to do this, and I'm going to take the opportunity to do this right now. I've done it privately, but this is the first time I'm going to do it publicly. Kevin, thank you from the bottom of my heart for reigniting my dig dug ability. If it wasn't for you, I would have never have broken the MAME world record. You're my best friend. You're my brother. We're DDBFAM for life, and I want you to know that. And that stands for Dig Dug Brother from Another Mother, in case you were wondering. Thank you, K-Dog. I love you, man.
You're welcome, bro.
Thank you for letting me do that.
And there's the hype from the cat.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
So where are you? Where are you located at? Where are you?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm in Springfield, Illinois.
Oh, Illinois. That's not too far.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You're on opposite coasts, and I'm smack dab in the middle. And it's a 200-mile commute for me to go up to the Galloping Ghost Arcade.
I was just going to say, how far is it there? Yeah. So, did you hear about the places that we go to from here? Did Mike tell you those, or
we haven't
gotten that far?
We haven't talked about that yet. Okay.
Yeah.
I need to give Mike a little bit more attention because he only had, I think he only has 90 minutes.
Well, I'm giving plenty of attention with these cabinets here, you know.
Yeah, Mikey, you got to talk, man. Speak up. Let's hear from you, brother.
I guess.
All right. So let's just go here. So what all games do you have in your arcade?
Well, let me
Besides
look
the
around
five I
and
can
start
see.
naming games at least. So starting from here, so I have Tron, I have Star Wars, I have Pole Position, Gorf, Double Dragon, Super Punch-Out, and I have the Punch-Out board as well. I have a Nintendo Play Choice 10 dual monitor cabinet. I actually have two Donkey Kong cabinets. I have an original blue one that's currently in the garage. I use that to, let's just say, take it to road trips. Like sometimes we have a big gaming expo here in Pittsburgh. It's in early October called PGX. I brought some of my arcade cabinets to that show to contribute. But I have another Donkey Kong cabinet that was previously owned by Rick Olenhop. He's known as Nintendo Rick. He has an incredible Nintendo arcade collection. It's just insane. I've seen videos and photos of it. But he had a Donkey Kong remix custom cabinet that he put up for sale, and I was a lucky guy that took advantage of it and purchased it. And I had that shipped from Iowa to Pittsburgh. Other cabinets I could sell here. So I have a multi-Williams where it has Robotron and Defender, Sinistar, Bubbles, Stargate, and many other games that are on there. I do have, it was originally a Galaga 3 cabinet, but it's one of those Bally Midway generic cabinets, which I kind of converted it into like a Pac-Man Plus, but I have it's a JAMA board that's in there. It's known as the Bit Kit. The Bit Kit's actually like an FPGA board where you're running like these certain games. They actually run off of hardware. There's no software emulation involved at all. Like MAME, it's not involved. So you're actually running some of these classic games off of actual hardware. Like pretty much all the Pac-Man games are on there. There's Galaga, there's Frogger, and many, many others are on there too. Other cabinets I could think of is I have a Centipede cabinet that has a multi-board where I could play Centipede, Millipede, Crystal Castles, and Arkanoid with the trackball. I have two Crazy Kong cabinets. That's the knockoff, of course, version of Donkey Kong. But I have two of those cabinets. They're different styles. One of them just has a multi-board in there, and I could play like 40 or 50 different classic games in it. I have a Golden Tee 2000. It's a cabaret style cabinet. I have that. And then let me see, thinking into the next room. So I have a gapless that I cosmetically restored about a year and a half ago. I got that up and running. I have, let's see, what else do I have in there? I have a WWF WrestleFest. It has the original board, and I have WWF Superstars board. But I have a multi-cade in there because some people just like to play some classics in there. So I just keep that just running normally. I have an Outrun. I also have Crazy Bowl, which is it's it's kind of like Coors Light bowling. It's like an overhead, simple bowling style game, which some of my buddies' friends came over and I couldn't take them away from that machine. They love playing Crazy Bowl. I have Map Mania, and I try to really twist James's KBB's arm a couple times because I do have a Dig Dug cabinet. I brought it to PGX last year. I was trying my very best to extend the invite to him, but nothing may not always pull through. But there's always going to be next year, James. October. I'm willing to bring Dig Dug back there again. Now, just thinking of the ones I have in my garage. So I have a Track and Field. I have a Hyper Sports, which is the sequel to Track and Field. I have Karate Champ. I mentioned Crazy Kong as one of them. I have an Asteroids. I have a Space Invaders and a Space Invaders Deluxe. And my Space Invaders cabinet actually has the original control panel that's in Japanese, which you don't find many of those these days, but I really lucked out finding that one locally. And also I bought, it's a cabaret style cabinet that Incredible Technologies did. It has shuffle shot and bags. Good old Todd Tuckey with his bags. I got one of those too. Yes, bags. So I think I named all 31. If I missed any, then I did. But
did you say Super Punch Out? Did you say Super Punch Out?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I did mention Super Punch Out.
I think that's one of the rarest ones he's got. That's a hard one to find.
Try my best to move the laptop. There's Super
There
Punch
we go. Now we can look around a little bit. I'm going to throw this back to full screen.
I'm running this off my laptop, so it's on a little like a big tripod thing here. But
I've been to his house. I've played it.
Yeah, so let me.
Galvin Ghost Arcade has Super Punch Out.
Nice.
So you know.
Let's see, turn on Super Punch.
And this cat just took a bite, and I'm going to have to chase him away.
Uh-oh.
This is the problem with him is Cody likes to.
It's funny that works.
Wants my lap.
They don't like canned air. It scares them.
No, they don't.
They do it with my
I got to remember that. I got to remember that for mine because he be going crazy. So
he also runs away from the sound of howling wolves.
Oh, wow.
So there's my score still. It's 345, 680 on Super Punch Out. Yeah.
That's really high.
A lot of work. A lot of memorizing patterns. And it does get tougher. It really does.
Yeah. That's the thing, man. People think just because you know the patterns, it's going to be an easy game.
It changes up.
Kevin can contest. We know the Dig Dug patterns really well, and we still get messed over from time to time.
Without a doubt.
Well, if you're used to playing Punch Out on the NES, you're not gonna have the same experience playing it on the arcade. And one of my challenge cards has score 70,000 on Punch Out, and I cannot get past Piston Hurricane yet because the controls don't quite. It doesn't quite play the same.
Oh, you're talking about the Super Punch Out for
regular Punch Out.
The original Punch Out that had piston.
The arcade version of Punch Out versus the NES. Night Driver was mentioned earlier. I have that on one of my challenge cards. Galloping Ghost has that one. Hyper Sports. I have to beat a threshold on this too. Yeah. I got some. There's the play choice. Where was I? Good grief.
So
do you have any pinballs?
My play choice 10 does have Mike Tyson's Punch Out on there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's a guy. What's his name? It's his name's Joe. He has a website. It's pc-10.com. If any of you ever heard of that. He will actually take some of the actual play choice carts and he can modify them and put a different NES game of your choosing on there. Also, he does sell an adapter that's going to be a single cart entry on the actual PCB board. It's known as the NES Game Link. Well, the NES Game Link, let me get back to here. So yeah, this is the NES game link. So if I enter, so the NES game link, this gives you the ability to actually put a Nintendo NES cart on this adapter that's in one of the cartridge slots for the PCB. Well, this right here, I have a multi-NES cart that has like 800 games. So this Play Choice 10 has like over 800 games that are all classic NES and even some Famicom games as well.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
I
amazing.
know that they have been making homebrew carts for the Play Choice 10 that
Yes.
were not released back in the day.
Correct.
I did ask, do you have any pinballs?
Pinball machines?
Yeah.
Not at this time. It's still on the wish
Okay.
list. Kevin knows this one really well. So if I want to put a pop quiz out there, I'll give the question to Kevin. So Kevin, if I had my choice of all pinball machines out there to buy, which one you know that I would love to invest and purchase?
If it's the same one that I like, then it has to be the correct
Maybe.
answer. My favorite machine, and as well as his, is Twilight Zone. That's the one.
Yep. Twilight Zone.
I love Twilight Zone. That's my absolute favorite machine.
Yep. The thing that really made me get into Twilight Zone pinball, I really like the objectives. I love how the playfield structure was made. I'm not like a big fan of the show. I mean, I have watched Twilight Zone series episodes in the past, but there's just something about that pinball machine that I just got immediately addicted to it when it came out in the early mid-90s at my local mall. That's how it all started for me with Twilight Zone.
Kevin, so let's run down your gaming feats. Now you've reached the Pac-Man kill screen, or did a kill screen on the Pac-Man. Was it a perfect game, or
no? Believe me, I wish it was a perfect game. A lot of people think, well, it's not too hard to do that. It is like next to impossible to do that. I mean, there are patterns to get there. But if you don't know those patterns to get all the blue ghosts before they stop changing, it's done. You know, I said, if you lose one guy, you got to do it all over again. You know,
I know I've watched Billy Mitchell do kill screen runs and perfect runs on Pac-Man and basically freestyle those 1 second boards, and it's not easy.
I think I've done six. The first 6 boards, I've gotten a perfect score, but after that, I've not been able to do it because you really gotta bunch them tight, you know, to do that. But it takes me about 4 hours to get to the kill screen on average, I would say. On the machine.
Yeah.
What are some of the other gaming feats you have to your credit?
Come here, baby.
Well, Dig Dug is definitely another one. My KBB keeps saying, "No, I definitely broke it, but I actually haven't." It was like for Dig Dug, it was 2,973,000. It's close to 3 million, but I haven't accomplished that one yet. Tron, I've been able to get 850,000. Centipede, just under 400,000. Like I said, I've kill screened the Pac-Man. I've kill screened Speedy Pac-Man. I've kill screened Speedy Miss Pac-Man. What's the other ones I've done?
Basically Turbo.
Galaga, I've had almost 9 million. I think that's that one. Donkey Kong. I'm still working on that. I can't catch DK Mikey, but
there's
my
been
personal
time you beat me.
my personal best is 531 on Donkey Kong.
I'm going to throw this up here because this is his Donkey Kong kill screen run.
Yeah, so that's level 21 as we see right there. So, yeah, so this is the final rivet stage. I still remember I remember just saying to myself, I'm like, look, just give me a break, really. I mean, just don't give me a hard time. Let me just clear the stage. Let's get it over with because it's my last life, you know. And Kevin has seen me stream live before, and I know the most common thing Kevin has always told me of how I get, let's say, luck on my shoulder. It's always my last life where I may score at least 300,000 or 400,000 points on my last life. He said that to me so many times. I'm like,
if I'm not mistaken, he had about 460 some thousand on, and he was on his last guy. And I said, you wait and see. He's going to get to the kill screen on his last guy, and he did on this game. This is the game that it happened on.
Yep, the final.
But I've seen him where he's surrounded by 4 or 5 fireballs and could just like run right past them and get up to the top and clear the screen with like zero bonus, and he just like barely makes it. I don't know how he does it.
And you're pretty much forced to clear it instead of stand next to Donkey Kong and just jump repeatedly.
Yeah.
I believe this was December of 2021.
August 26, 2021 at 12:10 a.m. I will never see. You see the timestamp too, or August 25th. Yeah. As I always like using a timestamp on my stream.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
So what I do here, see, is get the most points, grab that hammer, and try to hit 2 barrels. And there's the kill screen. Jumpman's dead. Right there.
Now there's been a little bit of...
When they did the kill screen, they just went up and they just stood there or just jumped over one barrel. And I'm saying to myself, grab the hammer, get another 300 or 600 points. It's add to it, you know? So, but yeah.
So there's been a little bit of talk about the Donkey Kong kill screen in the last month or two. Somebody has found a way to, and it was done on Crazy Kong first, because there's a glitch on the barrel board where you can climb up the first ladder, slip over to the right, and then jump off the screen.
I have seen that video.
Clear the board. And then they would proceed to gang rush the pie factory up to the top.
Yep.
Before, because you only got about 500 points to clear the countdown. So only gives you the 500, and then it kill screens you.
Right.
Kills you off at 3,600.
You're only getting like not even 15 seconds on level 22's cycle. You're only getting like approximately 15 seconds, where you saw the most I was able to do. I ran across, jumped over the random barrel that I'm always at a common spot, climbed up the ladder, grabbed the hammer instantly, and I was able to crush 2 barrels, and that's where Jumpman dies. So yeah, I've seen the video where it's like a ladder glitch, basically, where you have to be at the first broken ladder. And from what the video explained, like how to do it, well, you probably would have a lot more success doing it if you were running Donkey Kong on MAME, because you could use like a gamepad. You have to push like up and down, like simultaneously, where Jumpman will slowly creep his way up in midair from that first broken ladder that's just past the oil drum there at the bottom. Doing it with an original 4-way Nintendo controller is going to be practically impossible. I mean, you'd be thinking like that would be like in the old days of the Atari 2600 trying to play track and field or decathlon, where you got to shake the joystick left and right continuously, but the amount
you're
of
likely to break it.
It's probably not possible. But
decathlon is better played with the trackball than a joystick, because those original Atari joysticks were those little plastic inserts, and they don't really hold up. So you really need a trackball.
It's amazing how some people, they say like, aren't you worried about these joysticks breaking on you? And I was like, look, I learned about these joysticks, especially Nintendo ones. These things are unbeatable. Like, I mean, you would need probably a chainsaw to break that thing to cut it and really destroy it if you wanted to. But they were really structured well by Nintendo when they made these in the early 80s. They
made the game pads, and you can have the cross and then the buttons. But the joystick, the Apex joystick was pretty much the best Atari joystick as far as I'm concerned. Because it held up like an Atari, an arcade stick.
Yes. Well, like you were mentioning earlier when you first started your podcast, Food Fight. That's one of my favorites too. I mean, I would love to own a Food Fight, but you got to have the right joystick to play that game so it works right. And it's like a 360 degree angle type
48 positions.
Yes.
It's a 48 position joystick. And the problem with the one at Galloping Ghost for the longest time is it would work for a bit, and then you'd push a direction, and the character would not move in some directions. And they said it was a board issue. Well, okay, it was a board issue, so they would have to recalibrate the joystick every couple plays. Yeah. And then I'd try to grind on it until it stopped working again. It's like, it's the last one on my freaking card. It's like, and months are ticking by, and people are finishing up their challenge cards, and I'm stuck with this one bum steer. Yeah. And then they floated the idea of, I'm going to go ahead and sign off your card because we made an error with the settings, blah, 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 and the stick's not working. And it's like, no. I'm gonna, if the stick is working, I'm going to go ahead and try to get that 150,000 to prove that I can get that.
Right.
And I did. Last weekend. Finally. And the joystick held up, and that's good. The settings might not have been, I don't know if the settings were stuck correctly, but no matter. As far as I'm concerned, I got the 150K, however I did it. Yeah. And it's time to move on.
Yeah.
To level 2, and I'm attacking other players' scorecards now, and that's, I wanted to attack other players' scorecards after completing mine, but I have 2 of these, and I've got most of them down, but I have a few. Punch Out. I got to learn the arcade version of Punch Out. And then, gosh.
Here's one game I'd love to find, and I haven't seen one since probably 1991, is an original Bubble Bobble. I have not seen one of those.
Talked about Bubble Bobble.
Galloping Ghost has Bubble Bobble.
They do have one, right?
I think so. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're very hard to find. I've asked arcade owners, and they're like, "No, I haven't seen one of those in years." They say so.
Really? Let me. You know what? I'm going to look and see. I've been to
quite a few arcades, and I have never seen in person an original Bubble Bobble cabinet. Still.
Mm-hmm.
Well, looking on arcade, there's several. Let me see if anything's in Pennsylvania. No. There's some in, gosh.
Well, that's another game
has one.
That's another game I've cleared. I've got all the way to the 100 stage. So.
Yeah, really good.
There's one in McLean, so there's at least 4 of them in my state. But there's a few in New Jersey. Anything in California? Yes. Nickel 5-cent games in Garden Grove, California. There's a few in Washington, Tacoma, Seattle, Utah. Now, I don't know how. Yestercades has one in New Jersey.
Yestercades, okay.
They're out there.
Here's another game that I know the arcade we go to, it's in their back room, and they haven't brought it out yet, is Crossbow. I wish they would bring out Crossbow.
Last time, so a local arcade in my town had Crossbow in their little bitty arcade. They did sell it off. Galloping Ghost does not have this one. They have Chiller. They have Cheyenne, but they don't have Crossbow. And I think Crossbow was the first one with that that XD put out with the setup it did, or setup it had.
Oh, do you know the game Eyes too?
Yes.
Yeah, I've gotten 13 million on Eyes. That's another one I was good at. You were asking.
Well, the current world record.
That's like 40 million or something, isn't it?
Well, the arcade world record is 26 million, which is probably not the same. Oh, it was done at Grinkfest in Grinkers in Idaho, the former arcade that's no longer around. But if you come to Galloping Ghost Arcade, the house high is only 4 million.
Well, if you ever get to Pennsylvania and Ohio, we got 2 places for you to go, and you'll love them.
Yeah.
In Ohio or Pennsylvania?
Well, the one in Pennsylvania is about an hour away, about an hour away from you, Mike.
Yeah, it's about
Western-
it's west of the Pittsburgh International Airport. The name of the town is known as Aliquippa, or there's also another town next to it called Hopewell. There's a place out there called Pinball, PA, where they would have roughly
Yeah, I know that one.
They have about 200 arcade and 200 pinball. You just pay a flat fee for a 2-hour play or an all-day play.
And now the newest one that opened up, and they've been open for a year.
Pastime?
Pastimes.
Yeah.
That
In Youngstown, Ohio, or Girard, Ohio.
They have over 400 pinball machines and at least 200 classic video games. So it's
I
massive.
would like to go, yes. It's a bit of a drive. Rob Burke, who is the owner of Pastime, is the
He
gentleman
does
who
Pin Expo too. He runs the Pin Expo, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it just had its 40-year anniversary. That's go to Chicago for that. And we lost a key figure from Pinball Expo fairly recently. Fred Young.
The least
away.
we could do right now is, I can extend an invite if this was an opportunity for you. It is the second weekend of April. It's April 10th to the 12th. Normally, every year in Girard, Ohio, they have a pinball festival out there called Pin Brew. There are local breweries that sell their beers there. There's like food and other like beverages that are being sold there. But real nice collection of pinball machines that are brought in, and the arcade group that I'm involved with, as well as Kevin, it's PAC, Pittsburgh Arcade Collective. We're actually going to be a partner there this year, and we're going to be there all 3 days. But I know their VIP pass, if you decide to buy the VIP pass, sure, you get all 3-day access, 1 hour early access at Pin Brew, but they also include free access to Pastimes Arcade on all 3 days. So you could go to either one with your VIP pass.
It's only 2.5 miles from Pin Brew. So
Right. It's like only 6 minutes, a 6-minute distance between Pin Brew and Pastimes Arcade.
Yeah, if you ever get to
the month of
Pastimes, you
April-
will not be disappointed, believe me.
No, you won't be.
The month of April is going to be very packed for me.
Yeah.
Let me put you on camera for a minute. Come here. You don't
We're
want
going to have a cat appearance again.
Metal Cat.
Hey,
Well-
so I have a question. What is the Dig Dug record over at that arcade you guys keep talking about? The big one.
Galloping Ghost?
Galloping Ghost?
Something you
What is
can
the Dig
beat
Dug record?
easily.
Hold on.
Something
I
you
can
can easily
get it up.
Okay, yeah, I want to see it.
Actually,
I want to see
might
what
be
the
able to
record
get
is.
the answer here for you, because I believe I still have
I had a second.
their online scoreboard saved on my phone.
Yeah, baby. Go ahead.
Right now, well, it depends on what scoreboard you're going to use. The house high at Galloping Ghost, Donald Hayes has the arcade record for
I figured that.
but
I
Galloping
figured
Ghost, I'm still looking for it, but it's less than all the fun spot scores.
that. Mm-hmm.
It's at least 1 million. I have not. Good grief!
Well, I'm gonna tell you this much.
It's like Andrew Owasco has it. Still,
Checking.
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, he's got the
okay.
house high.
Yeah, what is the house high? But you don't know what it is, though.
1,060,000.
1 million? Are you sure it's not 4 million? That's
At
double.
Galloping Ghost Arcade, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit, although that fruit is getting higher and higher.
Okay.
And I can't get 1 million points on Dig Dug yet. I don't know if I ever will, but it is a big hill to climb. I threw this up here. This is the start of my month.
Yeah.
So I
This
got
is
the
the start
score
of
on
my month.
Pastimes Arcade. So they use that website. You could do an online scoreboard. It's called iScored.nfo. So there's only one high score on there, and let's see, it's those letters WHO. Your score
I
was
will
2
say,
million.
Wait. Hold on. You mean that Galloping Ghost?
Oh no, this is Pastimes Arcade.
Oh, Pastimes.
This is
Yeah,
Pastimes.
I've got And
They
the
have it
score
on
is
the
actually
scoreboard.
234,567. 2,345,000.
Oh wow, really?
Yes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0.
That was one of the monthly challenges, and you get stamps, you know,
But
and if
you
you get
did
so many stamps, you get a free pass, and
Yeah.
nobody was going to beat me at that. So,
Oh wow, yeah, I agree. Well, I'm gonna
So
tell
there
you
it
this right
is.
now. Okay,
that's the
What
highest score at Galloping Ghost at this moment.
Okay.
1 million? Really?
Just 1 million. Yes. There's all these scores that are higher than that, but these were done, most of these were done in Fun Spot, but this one was done at the former Richie Knuckles location.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
arcade in Jersey.
Yeah, I see that now. Well, I'm gonna tell you this much. Just the fact that I'm not gonna speak for Kevin because he's here and he can speak for himself, but I'm gonna definitely speak for KBB. As it stands right now, I am the third best Dig Dug player on the planet. The only people I have not yet conquered is Ken House, who's the second best player in the world, and Donald Hayes, who is the absolute best Dig Dug player in the world. I stand right now at number 3 in the entire world with my highest score ever. Technically, I stand first, but we already had that story earlier in the show when I told you I broke 5.5 million as a 12-year-old kid. I don't have proof of that one, which is fine.
Right.
But just the fact that I was able to take a 20-year break off of Dig Dug, come back and break over 4.4 million. Come on, man. There ain't nothing better than that. That's all I'm gonna say. And in my opinion, I'll just say this much. And in my opinion, I know he hasn't done it yet, but I know it's inside him because I see it. Because we're DDBFAM. In my honest opinion, I will tell you right now, who is number 4 in the world? He won't agree with me with that, but I'm gonna tell you right now, he is the 4th best Dig Dug player in the world, in my opinion.
Now you were there was a sequel to Dig Dug, and in a previous interview, you said you were not a fan of this.
No, I'm not a fan of that game at all.
No,
not at all. Not at all. I am definitely not a fan. It's very different. You don't dig holes. You still have the pump, but you have to sit there and make ground drown. It's stupid.
Drill.
I don't even.
Ground basically.
That's stupid to me. I will never be good at this game. Never. You could give me 10 lifetimes. I will never be good at Dig Dug 2.
Well, if you were ever to pursue the world record, you can only tie it because the game maxes out at 10 million.
10 million is the world record for this?
Yes, it does. The score, there is a max out score.
Oh, there's a max.
It does not roll over. Once you reach 10 million, you've pretty much beaten the game.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't have to worry about it because I'm never gonna attempt it. So it's fine.
Jim Patzer, from Wisconsin, who is a regular at the Galloping Ghost Arcade, has that score at the Galloping Ghost, and it was on the old ROM version, which is a bit hard, which is harder than the new ROM version.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's another question for you. Let me remove this.
Okay.
I'm going to show this one to you.
Okay.
Dig Dug. There's another Dig Dug game out there. Although, well, this is the 2-player. We'll run with it. Guess we throw this back on there. There's an arrangement mode of Dig Dug on the Namco Volume 2. Have you ever played this one?
No, I have not. I
don't know if any arcade that has it. I know it plays like the original Dig Dug, but there's some add-ons.
Okay.
let's say gameplay enhancements.
Yeah, it's
You'll
like
play normally like Dig Dug at first.
Okay.
Well, this is 2-player mode here,
Yeah.
which kind of plays a little different. But there's bigger rocks. There's also another type of weapon you can get in certain levels. There's also bosses.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
You're most likely going to play this. Well, you can play this in MAME, at least.
Yeah.
But if you think you have if you're going to Dig Dug, give this one a try and see how you like it.
It's interesting. It looks interesting. And the fact that you can play 2-player, you already know. If I was to ever take a tag team partner in Dig Dug, I can tell you right now, I'm not taking nobody on earth over who. I don't care who it is. We together, we would be unstoppable. I don't think
I
there's
just
any.
picked up a power up here.
I don't think
It doesn't get
I don't think
used.
there's any 2 people on earth that could beat us outside of possibly right now, outside of Ken House and Donald Hayes. There's no other 2 people on earth who will ever beat us. If me and Kevin Allberger were to ever team up and do a tag team in Dig Dug, there's no one else that would beat us as of right now.
There's the boots, and if you grab the boots, you go faster. Well,
would you agree with me, K-Dog? You agree, right?
Oh yeah.
Because if we were to motivate each other, yeah, they're done. And it's just a matter of time before the 2 of us catch the 2 of them. I'm going to tell you that now, too.
That blue spear reminds me of Bubble Bobble.
Yeah, I know. That's funny. I see that right there. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. I would love to team up with Kevin Allberger against anybody on the planet in Dig Dug.
and whoever's playing player 2 in this little speed run or gameplay run is less of a player than player 1. There's variants of Puka and Fygar in this, and then there's another enemy. Oh, there's a ray gun, so you actually can fire bullets.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Have you ever played Mr. Driller?
No, I haven't. And
I know somebody that does.
I know who has the world record too.
Who is that? Who plays Mr. Driller and has the world record, y'all? Do I know?
Seattle Sid. You know who that is?
No, I have no idea who that is. Who is
Robert Rasick.
What?
That's him. He loves Mr. Driller.
You gotta be kidding me.
I saw him do a world record high score. It was at Challenge Arcade in 2021 in Hershey, PA.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Wow. I was playing around with good old Donkey Kong, of course, but there he was over in the corner.
Wow. Really? Wow. That's insane.
Well, you know who's in the game, Mr. Driller. Dig Dug is in the game.
Yeah, I know. That's where Dig Dug came from.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Where should we go next on this conversation? Jeez.
I'll tell you 2 of the worst games that I cannot play, and I've tried for years, and I've never been good at. One is Missile Command, and the other is Defender. I have never been good at these games, and I have tried so many times. I just don't have the coordination for that.
I agree. I'm terrible. I'm terrible at Missile Command. I can play a little bit of Defender, but not to where I can tell you somebody who's in hell of a Defender player. That's Joe Dearman. That dude is amazing on Defender. Like, he's incredible. Like, I would take a class from him. He's so good. So I'm just saying. Like,
Defender is hard for you. Try Stargate.
Oh, wow.
It's even worse.
I have both of those.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's not that big of a score, but I'm pretty proud of my score for Space Invaders. I got this at Pastimes. I got 26,000 at Pastimes on Space Invaders.
A really good score.
Yeah.
Here's a boss battle.
There's your boss battle on Dig Dug.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Hey, Charlie Brown's in the background.
Oh,
That's Bernie. That's Bernie.
They can see
you
you
can
on the
see those Tin Men
No,
like
it's okay.
characters. You blow them up, well, they act like a bomb,
Uh-huh.
and so you have to blow one up
Huh?
close to this big blue guy to damage him because your pumps won't inflate this giant.
Come on. Thank
And of course, Puka and Fygar get in the way, and because they can't be used against that big blue guy.
It makes me think of Legend of Zelda when you have those rhino type monsters.
I'm not even used to seeing two big guys. That's what I'm tripping on right now.
And there he goes down.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'm going to remove this now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right. Where was he at? So I got this sheet here, and I was like, I've not been following it too much. Gosh. Let me ask you this. How did you get your trading cards, or how did you meet up with Walter to get your trading cards?
Mikey, I'll let you answer that first, and then I'll go after.
Okay. Well, so in 2020, I was one of the many Kong Club members in the Kong Club Facebook group, and Walter is in that group as well too, where basically, was it my Donkey Kong high score that got me the trading card? The answer is no. He shared a post one day. It was around early 2020. He said he was looking for some people that actually own some rare arcade cabinets that they may have never introduced as a trading card overall. So if any of us had owned any rare arcade machines, to contact him, let him know. And it was just my luck. It was this one right here, Super Punch Out. I contacted Walter saying, well, I got a Super Punch Out. Do you have one of those as a trading card? And I believe he told me no. And I was like, well, I'll tell you what. If you can make me as a trading card with Super Punch Out, we got a deal. He said, get yourself a good picture made, send it to me. You got yourself a trading card. And then on top of that, he did like a little breakdown interview just to get a little more familiar with my gaming background, accomplishments, and he applied that to the bottom half description on the back of the card.
Have you been able to meet Walter Day yet?
Actually, no. I almost had a chance to meet him. I had a chance to meet him out in Haddonfield, New Jersey. It was around August.
We got like 30 minutes.
There was an arcade out there. It was a grand opening known as Ram Arcade. And basically, I was given an invite to go out there where there were a few other people that got to come out to Ram Arcade for their grand opening, such like Billy was there. His one friend that's a arcade technician, Neil Hernandez, he was there too. Todd Tuckey was even there too. And even some people that Billy's been like long-term friends with, like his one buddy, Tom. I know him. He's one of my Donkey Kong buddies as well. So we actually came out, all of us, to the Ram Arcade grand opening, and Walter was on the invite. And unfortunately, last minute, I think something came up. I don't know if he was dealing with an illness or something where he was not able to make it to the grand opening of Ram Arcade in Jersey. But of course, I asked Billy, I was like, so where's Walter at? He's like, Walter's being Walter. That's what he told me. But
so the 3 or 4 years.
Sorry, say
so
again.
The last 3 or 4 years, another opportunity has not presented itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it would be nice to meet Walter. I mean, I've chatted with him. I know a few times on like Billy's Twitch streams. He jumps in on there sometimes, and I mean, he knows who I am, so that's the least I could say. But it would be great to meet him in person.
I'm being accosted by my other cat. And she's not going to be real happy for me picking her up, but this is her.
Wow, isn't she beautiful? Wow.
She is 17 years old.
Wow, really?
Yes, this is Angel. She's 17.
It's quite the number. 17.
Wow.
Yes, and she's my grandmother's cat. And
okay, I caught my other one, who's about 16. and his name is
Hmm.
Hollywood. This is
Hollywood.
him right here. This is Hollywood right here. Say hi, baby. You on
Yeah.
camera? Yeah. Had to
Nice cat.
I don't know
Well,
where
let her
mine
go,
is,
'cause
but
she
he's a
doesn't
great
want to be
mouser.
held.
I had to catch him real quick because he just came out the litter box, so I wanted to catch him real fast. But okay, so as far as how I got my trading card, it's kind of an interesting story. Somebody that was following me that I met on Facebook, her name is Casey Ross. I don't know if any of you know who she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
She
know
actually introduced me to Walter Day. She actually followed all my record runs and she said, well, you should get a trading card. And I said, from who? And she said, from Walter Day. I said, I've never met him. She said, I'll introduce you. So she introduced me. Like I said earlier in the show, I explained to Walter Day what happened. I told him I broke the record legitimately and that Twin Galaxies took it back because I didn't use Wolfman. So he said, and I said, but I want to explain something to you. And I told him the same thing I told you guys in the show. I said, back in the old days, if you broke a world record score, or even if you broke a high score, the score was yours. You never had to validate it through some verification system. And he said, you know what, you're right. And he said, because of that, I'm gonna give you your trading card. And when he gave me my trading card, he got a lot of hostility over giving me a card. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't even want to bring that skeleton up from the ground, but he gave me my trading card, and I'm very grateful to Walter. He is a good guy. They tried to involve him in a situation where I was accused of some things I didn't do, and he was the one that actually,
There's
yeah,
drama.
he actually verified. He actually verified the drama I was in, and he was the one that got me cleared. Now, to this day, I never told anybody who it was, but I'm announcing it now on this podcast. Walter Day is the one that cleared me of any type of cheating, negating of any video game I've ever played. I don't need to cheat, like I said earlier. If I'm a cheat, what's the point in playing? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Walter Day has a very special place in my heart, and I'm very grateful to him because of the trading card he gave me. It got me a lot of recognition as being the third best Dig Dug player on earth.
Kevin, you're looking to get a trading card. Or at least that's what I've heard.
Kevin.
Yeah, we put you we put you on the spot, K-Dog.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what game to do it on. That's the thing.
You got to figure it out,
Honestly,
brother.
I mean, it don't even really have to be a specific game, really. I mean, because you have many accomplishments. You and I know that for sure. So
Yeah,
you have enough that can qualify for a trading card.
Yeah, I totally and completely agree. I think if you were to put all your accomplishments in one thing, that
Well, it'd
alone
be nice to
would
have a
get you
trading card.
Yeah.
Todd Freeman, if you are watching,
Todd.
contact Kevin Allberger. He is in charge of Old School Gamer Magazine and is organizing the creation of these trading cards.
Todd's a good guy.
I have 2 to my name. I'm actually on a 3rd, but it was a group picture. My original, this one was obviously 178, was my Nintendo World or my Nintendo Campus Challenge National Championship.
Okay.
This card here, 11 years later, 4124, is for winning the Gamer of the Year award. Oh, look what I've got.
Oh, wow.
My Nintendo Campus Challenge National Championship trophy,
Wow,
which does
that's
not
a
leave the
nice
house.
Trophy.
There
That
it
is a very nice trophy, to say the least. That's amazing.
So what games are you good at? I didn't. Maybe I came in late on that. I don't know. What games are
I'll
you
be
good
back
at?
in 1 minute.
Me?
Yes.
I'll be right back.
Okay. He has to step away for a second, so I'm going to hide him. I'm more... So, for Gamer of the Year at Galpin Ghost Arcade, it was pretty much a grind for high scores. Yeah, the common games, I don't have world records on. I mean, just in the group of gamers who have, I guess, middle of the road scores. But house highs or world records are on games that are not really well known, like biomechanical toy, or let's see, I've got a look. What other games do I have? Oh, great. Now I'm drawing the blank. Strategy X was the last score I took. It's not a world record, but it's a house high. I had the world record on. Oh, I have the house high on Battle Shark. It's not 1cc. What else is there? Gosh. You know what? I'm gonna pull up my list.
Well, while you do that, since we're talking about other games, I'm gonna put this out there right now. I am also the undefeated Nintendo champion on Tecmo Bowl and Double Dribble. I've never lost to anybody in any time since those games have come out. And somebody has challenged me to a Tecmo Bowl match, but it hasn't happened yet. So maybe we need to talk about that on this podcast to make it go down. Now check this out.
I know somebody who could take you on.
Like
No.
3 years
Make
in
an
the making.
appearance at the Galloping Ghost Arcade because they have a Tecmo Bowl arcade machine.
No, it's not on the arcade. I'm talking about on the original Nintendo Entertainment System.
Well,
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
can't help you on that one.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay. But Dominic Page, aka King Creole, when are we doing this Tecmo Bowl Super Challenge? You challenged me. You saw me beat Tecmo Bowl hands down with the San Francisco 49ers, and you claim that you can beat me with the Los Angeles Raiders with that little Bo Jackson thing. I want to see it happen. The world wants to, Facebook want to see it happen. We need to give the people what they want, King Creole. So you need to contact me. We need to figure this out, and we need to make it happen. Because having it 3 years in the making ain't no good, brother. We got to do this challenge for the people. We got to show them who the number one Tecmo Bowl player in the world is. And I'm telling you now, it's going to happen. If I have to come to your house and play on your home field, I got no problem with that. You let me know. We'll set up a weekend. We'll do the best out of 7. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be on and cracking. So let's make it happen, Dominic. Let's get it on. It's about time.
I was going to say the house highs that I have at Galloping Ghost Arcade include Gangryu, which is an obscure game for the Neo Geo. It's a nice, great platformer, though, if you can find it. I have the house high for Galen and 3 the Gun. Cyberlip. Let's see, what else is there?
Anything from the 80s?
Magical Cat Adventure. Well, I have the house high for Strategy X, which is a Konami game distributed by Stern. I have Pop Flamer, house high for that. What else is there? I have the house high for Sky Skipper. Yes, Galloping Ghost has a Sky Skipper. One of the few that exist. Second Earth Grounded, yeah. It's another game that's a shoot 'em up. Special Project Y. Now, there's several of these that are not 1cc's. I have the house high and probably world record for Super Burger Time, which is the not so well-known sequel to original Burger Time.
Oh, I didn't even know they had a sequel. Okay.
Well, I think I've heard of it.
Galloping Ghost has it.
Okay.
And I have I 1cc that one. It took a lot of tries though over time.
Okay.
Looks like he's back.
Yep,
Put him
I'm
back
back.
in here.
Bring him back in.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Well,
No, it's all good, man. It's all
I was willing to show something here on camera, but the actual thing I'm trying to find, I could not find. So I brought an alternative.
Oh, well.
Since you mentioned about the 1991 Nintendo Campus Challenge, well, here's some memorabilia that I'm very proud of from the 1990 Nintendo World Championships. I still have the original semifinal T-shirt and my VIP passes still.
Wow.
I didn't get to do that.
No.
I didn't get to do the 90 championship. Oops. Let me throw this back up.
And the Nintendo World Championship trucker hat as well. I still have.
Wow,
still
that's
today.
insane, man.
Yeah,
That is crazy. Wow.
Yep.
You are a straight up
I was
collector, man.
actually looking for. I was going to tease it a little bit. I have a gold cartridge of NWC, but it is a reproduction. I am not one of those millionaire guys that have one of those 20 original gold cartridges. I have a reproduction that looks really close.
I have a reproduction of the 90 cart that was given as a gift, and the 1990. Looks like they had coming in here. Actually, I collaborated with Robin Mahara on a very limited run of the 25th anniversary of the Campus Challenge cartridge. They're gold, and they were auctioned off. Each one was autographed by me, my trading card. So there's only 50 that were made, but I have my own personal copy that's mine since I collaborated. Where was I going to go next? Well, Walter Day got mentioned. Yes, I got that hat. I do have that hat.
Powerfest 94. This was Super Nintendo related.
And incidentally, the guy who knocked me out, because I tried 3 different locations to go to win the trip to go to the National Powerfest location.
Yeah.
A guy by the name of Brendan Veach beat me in Mount Vernon, and he went all the way to second overall.
Wow.
He was the first runner-up.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
I haven't won too many tournaments, but we did on February 1st. I went down to Pittsburgh with Mike, and we played in the PAC tournament. And I just had a feeling. I said, I bet you I'm going to win this thing. And there was 21 people, which is usually more than what there is. And sure enough, I came away with the trophy. So.
Show the trophy, K-Dog. Show us.
I gotta go find. Hold on, it's back
here.
here.
Okay, go find it.
It's back here. My new stuff.
Actually, me and Kevin were in the semifinals where the way the rules were set was whoever had like the better record got to choose the first game. And there was about like 15 different arcade games that we had. So he chose I forget what was.
I just now saw the stuff in the background.
Oh
picked,
wow!
I had to take a good look at.
There you go.
That's amazing! Wow!
Yep.
Congratulations! Ooh.
Yeah, I was happy about that.
Yeah,
should
well
be.
deserved.
Not to get off the subject. I also have each one of their trading cards they gave me.
Yes, you do.
Wow!
Oh yeah.
They both gave me one.
Of course.
And I want to show this game. I don't know if Galloping Ghost has this, but I took a picture of this when Pastimes opened. See if you can see it on my phone. Can you see that?
They do not have computer space.
They have a computer space.
They do not,
and it works.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Pastime does.
Yes.
Galloping Ghost does not, that I know of. Or at least it's not on the outdoor floor.
Insane, bro.
It does work.
Wow, that's insane.
McLean has one in their inventory, but I don't think I've ever seen it working.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is.
Well, there's something that came out about Walter Day. I know there's been a fuss about. I guess you were talking about Walter Day being flack for giving you a trading card. Well, yeah, there's still a active lawsuit going on with Billy Mitchell, but next week, this movie is supposed to come out, and I'm going to throw this up there and give a live reaction.
I wanted the fame. I wanted the pretty girls coming up and say, hi, I see that you're good at Centipede.
This is Walter Day. He became the center of the video game universe.
He was the first to realize the competitive nature of gaming.
I'm leaving the video game industry to be a musician.
I said, you're not going anywhere.
Didn't I tell you, you, never not to lie? I've never had a lot of girlfriends, and Shane was the first person since my high school sweetheart.
He says, Walter, I've secretly been seeing a friend of yours.
I started hearing songs in my body.
138 songs.
David Reichelt of Color Switch said, we want to pay for your album.
Us doing this is to help him make his dream come true.
Since I'm called upon to actually do a show, I discovered Taylor Swift. So I've actually been trying to pick up her mannerisms. I have to sing tonight in front of a crowd of people for the first time in my life.
This ought to be interesting. Hey, Walter, your show's coming up. I know it's going to be great for you.
I produced Justin Bieber, Madonna. Walter Day's a legend.
The last 3 or 4 years have been like a tremendous swallowing of darkness because I got accused of cheating.
Attacking Walter is like attacking somebody in the Amish community.
Walter's not the kind of guy who's going to fight back.
You're ultimately looking at $1 million judgment being entered against you and following you for the rest of your life.
Wow. I wanted the world to hear this music. And if it doesn't happen now, it's never going to happen. It's Friday night. They go on the stage in about 1 or 2 minutes. I believe that we're going to be sold out.
Nobody would allow anybody to hurt Walter.
My name is Shane Harris, and Walter Day and I used to be in love. He said, I wrote over 150 songs about you. And I said, what?
The Ballad of Walter Day. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Looks good.
Thoughts?
Yeah. I'd watch it. Definitely.
No,
What was he a champion at? What game was he a champion at? I know there was
Walter Day?
Yeah.
I think it's Rally X.
What is it?
Rally X.
Rally X.
Was one of them.
I think his favorite game was the Tutankhamun.
Oh, I thought it was Mr.
Tutankhamun?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was wrong on that.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Huh.
I've heard of it. Yeah, I know that one. It's a Stern game. Yeah, it's supposed to hit theaters on the 27th, so 1 week from tonight.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what theaters are going to carry it. And I'm not typically a movie goer, but I might, because it's a gaming documentary. Gosh, I got to find out where, if any local theater in my town has it.
Right.
Because I don't know how many screens this is going to go. Yeah, I'll have to look at it after this podcast is over.
Here is something I would like you guys to
get rid of this
check
guy.
out. When I saw Billy Mitchell, this happened, and I've seen this video, and I don't know if it's 100% true. Apparently, on the Pac-Man kill screen, he found the second key. Because your only key.
Okay, I know that one. Let me
see that one. So I don't know.
Explain this one.
Yeah, he was like the first one to find a second key or something, and I'd love to know how that happened.
This is how it happened.
He went higher than the perfect score, the 3.3 some million. He went higher, I think, on that instance.
Yeah, he found a second key that should not have appeared, and I don't know how.
Well, there's a reason for that, and let me tell you the reason for that. You have to play Pac-Man, and he did this for 10 days at the Galloping Ghost, and there's a bit of a running joke that I had the house high on Pac-Man at Galloping Ghost. I still have it. Well, Billy started playing, and then he kept, it's like for so many days, we were having a little bit of a laugh because he would, I guess, make a mistake and then have to, I guess, throw away the game. And it's like I would yell out, my high score is still standing.
Wow.
My house high at Galloping Ghost is still standing. But here's the key. He was not playing an original Pac-Man. He was playing Pac-Man on the Class of 81 reunion, which has Pac-Man hidden behind Ms. Pac-Man and Galaga. So, because of that, the kill screen is not exactly the same.
Oh, that's
wow. That's
because there's a few extra dots.
Okay.
And that was learned because there was level 257 in the Chicago area had Pac-Man set up where it starts on level 255, so people could experience the kill screen. Right. Well, what board was it running on? It was running on the 23 Union board that was set up to boot to Pac-Man and start on level 255. Or maybe it was the 25th anniversary where Pac-Man was already unlocked. Regardless.
That's good to know. I mean, I know how to unlock Pac-Man on that game. I've done it many times, and you can change rapid fire on Galaga and the speed too. There's also that.
Yes, there's rapid fire and a turbo code, but Pac-Man had a few extra dots on the board and enough to get the other key to pop out.
I thought it was just an original game, so I didn't know.
Yes, he was. Yes, this was streamed on Twitch.
Right. Yeah.
And day 10, the day before Thanksgiving or something like that, and I trekked my way. I was like, see, was Billy going to still be going after the score by the time, because I had a scheduled trip to the Galvin Ghost that week and made it up there. That was the day he finally got it. And I was in the crowd watching him back. The video's online somewhere. Once he finally got it, I yelled out, "Finally!"
Oh, wow. That's funny.
So, yes, I witnessed it live, and the naysayers came out running their mouths, and I just said, "Shut the heck up, you morons." Yeah, Doc Mack is not going to set up a rigged board for Billy Mitchell because he values player integrity and the integrity of his scores, because he owns arcade.com. He's got strict rules. He sticks to following the spirit of the game and has disqualified a number of my scores because I would sacrifice lives to get more points, if I can't progress so far into the game or further, which is why he won't take any scores on Riot until I beat the third boss.
Wow.
Because I was trying to get more points on the level 1 and 2, and it's like to get above Andrew Awaska's score. But I was not getting any farther than the third boss.
I know a couple months back, I actually gave Kevin this version of Pac-Man. Well, it's a multi-ROM that has like Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and I think Pac-Man Plus and Pac-Man After Dark. It's actually known as Super ABC. That's like the nickname of it. And so he was playing it the one day, and then he contacted me like that one night. He's like, something's different about Pac-Man about this. I'm like, really? I'm like, can you explain? And he showed me, like, we went on a video call, and he showed me where the pattern of the ghosts, when they're in chase mode, it's a little different, where like you have the base right here, then you have those little angled sides where they like never like come down. While the one side, they were coming down. I'm like, yeah, they never did that in the original board. I'm like, wow.
That would be the Atlantic City ROMs?
Good question. I'm not sure.
The Atlantic City ROMs made some changes to the ghost behavior where they would reverse sooner, and all the patterns you were doing no longer worked. And I found out the hard way when I played such a thing.
Right, in the ghost, like I said, in the ghost box right above, when they turn blue, they can go up to those angles. But on this one, when they weren't blue, they were still going up, and they're not supposed to, because that's your safe spot. And same at the bottom where you start. If you just go right up, from where your start thing right up there, the red ghosts, they can't come up there either, but they were. So that's why I was asking them what happened to this particular ROM.
I was like, I found it. You played it pretty much.
The Pac-Man clone I'm playing currently is a game called Piranha. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
We have that. That's on there.
Galvin Ghost has that. Well, in the higher level, after you've like used up all your power shells, I guess.
Yeah.
You're trying to trap them all in the tunnel where they would turn and then go out of bounds up and down the screen. Which the game, obviously, since it was a hack, it's broken. It's a broken hack.
Yeah.
Regardless, you're still trying to do it so you can clear the level out and try to not get captured. I mean, I had the house high at one point, and now like the score's like 915,000, and I tried it. I tried again over the weekend, and things did not go my way. I only got about a little less than halfway.
I haven't kill screened this game, but I've broken 1 million is on Pac-Man Plus too. I have broken 1 million on Pac-Man Plus, but I haven't kill screened that one. That's one I'd like to do some.
I have the house high in Pac-Man Plus at Galvin Ghost. I had to pattern that one too.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this, Mad. What 80s games are you really good at? I heard you mention a lot of games that are not really. I
can play Pac-Man and Ms. Pac.
Okay.
I mean, I have the house high, as I mentioned, Pac Plus.
Okay.
Ms. Pac-Man, normal speed. Well, the house high is only like 150 or 150,000 at Galvin Ghost.
Really?
Yeah. In low-hanging fruit.
Oh, wow.
The Turbo Pac-Man at the Galvin Ghost, I have the house high there, about 800,000. What else is there? I have the house high at I did break 1 million on Pac-Man Galvin Ghost. Other scores, Strategy X, I couldn't have the house high for that.
Okay. I was just curious. I'm not trying to put you on the spot in your own podcast.
I'll just send you the link.
Okay, that's fine.
My player profile, and you can kind of look at them.
Just look through it. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, because
my personal best on Turbo Miss Pac-Man. My personal best. I lost my first guy at 707,000 on Turbo.
Yeah,
once.
I have the house high there too, but I don't have the world. I've never been able to kill screen Miss Pac-Man.
142 boards. That's all. That's what it is.
Yep. And I've done it as well. So
there it is. There's my arcade.com player profile link, and you can like look through my scores and see where I stand. But I'm still chasing.
Well, we all are
chasing scores. I got challenge cards.
We all are. Ain't nobody not chasing scores right now in this group right now. I'm still chasing Dig Dug, even though I am technically the main world record holder. I'm still chasing because I don't want to stop. I can't stop.
Any other scores is there any other targets you've got going right now besides? I'll ask everybody. What are your current targets?
Outside of what we're doing currently?
Besides Dig Dug in your case.
Well, I'll take that question last. Mikey, you go first, and then Kevin, you go second. And then I'll take it last.
One that's still on the wish list. So my kill screen is 962,500, where it is still on the wish list where reach 1 million on Donkey Kong. Whether if it's a kill screen or not, it doesn't matter to me. It'd just be another nice accomplishment just to do.
But outside of Donkey Kong. Yeah, but outside of what you're currently chasing.
Kong, I mean, I'd throw Tron in there because Kevin and I, we've had a few competitive games against each other in Tron, and I mean, I was close to reaching 300,000 on Tron. So I mean, like, I've already hit 200,000+ a few times on that game. I mean, even Gorf. I mean, I don't play it that much, but like my all-time best for Gorf is like 55,000. What else? So pole position, pole position, like my all-time score, it's like 50. I think I have like 51 or 52,000 because the world record's like 67,000. It's like right in that 67,000 range. Boom, that's like world records. But I had a really good game last year where on my pole position I hit over 50-some thousand. So it'd be nice to break that. And actually, now that I am thinking of it right now, 2 games I've been playing constantly, almost every day, is Centipede and Millipede. I'm actually more of a Millipede fan than a Centipede fan, but I love them both. It keeps me on my toes. It's an aggressive game. You got to just stay alert, just try not to trap yourself, and I mean, Kevin, he's really good at Centipede. I've seen him do over 300,000 plus I think the best I've done on Centipede is like a 130, 140 overall. Millipede, well, including the advanced game starts, I went as far as 340,000 on Millipede. And my hands were hurting after those attempts because you have so many spiders that are spawning out at that time. It drives you nuts.
If you come to Catholic Ghost Arcade, you're going to be, I think, well, they do a rundown of all the new house highs and world records. I think you would get a lot of attention if you just showed up and then started knocking off score after score on the classics.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah. We need to make a trip out there, all of us together, and we need to go out there as a group and do exactly that. And I think that would cause a stir, definitely.
You'll need, for a first-time visit to the Catholic Ghost Arcade, if you've never been there, I always say you need about 2 days, going on 3, because they have 1,027 games on the arcade floor.
Right.
Wow.
To get the full effect of everything they've got, you need that, but you need 3 days, 2 or 3 days.
I saw the video not too long ago where they went and counted all the machines.
Yeah.
They went through every single machine.
I've never seen that.
Said the name of every machine.
It's on YouTube. In fact, they did a walk-around video today.
Oh, wow. Really? Okay.
And I know Doc, he has some real rare ones there, too, like that that flying game that's like in the sphere, that R360. There's like only 3
Oh, G-Lock. I got first crack at that.
Oh, you did?
When they unveiled it, because I was the new Gamer of the Year.
Yeah. And I know he has one of the few prototypes of Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they do got that. I saw that. I was like, I got to play that when I go over there.
Yeah, from what I learned about that game, it was actually like based off, like, if I'm correct, like the 3DO type hardware, actually. Yeah.
Yes. It's a 3DO. They had to hack a 3DO CD-ROM drive and attach it to the machine to boot up the discs.
Wow.
They have 2 versions of it, 2 different versions of the game, but they have to, they were talking about backing them up.
Yeah, it's like
assume they backed them up.
One version can go further, like, and the other one's like shorter. Am I right about that?
So, I kind of think they both can be played to the end, or at least the one they had in there first could be played all the way to the ending, but it was easier than the one that they have in there now.
Okay.
I don't know which one is more stable. I don't think either one is all that stable, but the one they have in there now is harder, and it starts at a different opening level.
Okay.
I wish they throw the original one back, because I had the house high on that one for a time. And I can't get the house high on the version they got in there now, but I think the game was down when I was over there. So
I'd love to have. I'd love to get a break at least 400,000 or 500,000 on Centipede. I have not been able to do it because right around that 300,000 mark, there's just a certain point where it gets so fast and you can lose just ship after ship after ship. 1, 2, 3, just like that, and it can really take it down fast. I mean, it just. Whenever I get to that point, I always seem to just break, and I can't get past that point. I would like to kill screen Donkey Kong. I'm not looking for $1 million. I just would like to be able to kill screen it one day.
Yeah.
I would definitely like to do a perfect Pac-Man game just once. I mean, I've studied some of these patterns, and it just doesn't seem like the way they do the pattern. It's like, how is it possible to get all the ghosts because they change so fast on those later
1
boards?
second.
Yeah, you know. Another game I would like to it'd be cool to have the world record on is Kicks.
Yeah.
QIX.
Yes, my score at pastimes, I think I've got 144,000 on it. I mean that's pretty high, but I mean it's not too far off the world record, but it's still it's a tough game because there's no pattern to that, of course, you know.
No, there is ways to trap the sparks, but
There's way I know how to trap the sparks, but like I said, if you screw up, then they can still come out, and then
the kicks starts moving quicker, and then you're trying to get as close to 75% as possible.
Right.
And the split doesn't. I don't know. I've made runs on it, but it's like at a certain point, it's like it's out of reach. The house high. And I moved on to another game.
I'd love to break 1 million on Super Pac-Man because that's another tough game on those higher.
1 million?
Yeah, I mean it's my personal best is I think maybe 300,000. It just gets so tough. If you and there's.
It also depends. Well, another thing. I don't know what the game settings are for your Super Pac, but GGA has a limit of 2 extra men.
Mm-hmm.
I know their dip switch settings can be set where you get extra men every so many, like every 100,000 or something. But
right.
GGA cut it off at get 2 bonuses and then no more.
Okay.
We can't marathon it,
right?
Unless you pretty much survive.
So I actually have my list. I've been looking at it since those 2 went before me. I would say I want to break 500,000 on Donkey Kong 3. Okay. I'm right at around 420,000 right now. That would be one game. Give me 1 second. I would also like to break 1 million on Gyrus. My top score right now on Gyrus is about 622,000. I would love to break 1 million on that. I also would love to break 100,000 on Kangaroo. My top score on that right now is about 76,200.
That's a tough game.
Yeah, it is. It's really tough. And then the game you mentioned earlier, remember you asked me if he was good at kicker?
Kicker, yeah.
Remember when you asked me earlier today? My top score on kicker right now is 888,000. I would love to break 1 million on that. That would actually be another game I would really like to chase a lot. Definitely, because I love kicker. It's a great game. But
KBB's ultimate goal, I'm just going to throw this out there, is to get to the kill screen on Dig Dug with the high score on his first man. That would be his absolute ultimate goal.
That would be insane.
Yeah, of course. But,
that would be absolutely insane.
I don't even think Donald Hayes has done that, but I mean, ultimately, realistically, for Dig Dug, okay, I named a few other games, just a couple more. I would like to break 1 million points on Miss Pac-Man Fast. There's a few people that don't believe I did it, but I did do it in an arcade a long time ago that shut down, and I did have people there that did witness me doing that. But I would like to do that again. I would also like to break 1 million points on Pac-Man, because I love Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. They like go together. You know, those are like, you don't like those 2 games. You're not a classic gamer. But ultimately, overall, what I want to do more than anything is I want to play a perfect enough game on Dig Dug to break 5.5 million. That is my number 1 goal right now. To prove to people I did what I said I did. That is my number 1 goal, is to re-break 5.5 million. That would actually put me even above Donald Hayes if I accomplished that. And I believe I could do it. I mean, I'm sitting here now, 5 days away from being 54, and I'm currently at 4.4 million. It's only another 1 million points. And if I was to tighten up and really focus and really zoom in on what I got to do, I think I can accomplish it. And I'll tell you something, Kevin, Remember that night on election night when we beat Ken House's score together over at Arcade High Scores Challenge Club? You remember how zoned in we were that night? That's how zoned in I need to be to do that, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think it's very capable because I miss a lot of pineapples. I don't do a lot of 2500s at the end of the boards. And if I correct those two things, I honestly think I can make up 500,000 points easy. Easy.
Okay.
No questions asked. Easy. That would bring me to 5 million, hands down. That would give me 5 million points on Dig Dug.
Kevin, your future goals? Or did I get to you already?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, he kind of went through them, but
I'm losing track. It's after 10 o'clock and it's 11 o'clock. And
here's one goal I would love to have. I would like to have an arcade with every machine from the 80s in absolutely perfect working order. That's what I want to see. Perfect working order.
Oh, I got a place for you.
Wherever.
Have you heard of a place called Wieners and Losers in North Carolina? It's an Airbnb.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I had the host of Arcade Animals on this podcast many weeks ago.
Wieners and Losers?
Wieners and Losers is their Facebook page, is the name of their place, and they have they've been doing some sort of GoFundMe for their game show, which is a homage to the old Starcade hosted by Jeff Edwards. They call it Arcade Animals. And
I love Starcade. I love that show.
I called the hotline and left my audition message, and they aired it.
Nice.
But I had Gene Moody, who is the host of that show, on this podcast. But yes, they have all early 70s or late 70s, early 80s arcade games. They have nothing newer than 1984, and that would be the perfect place for you to pay a visit.
Nice.
I'm about a 10-hour drive from the fun spot. I want to get there one day too. I'd like to see that.
You say you're in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
And it's 10 hours from there to New Hampshire?
Yeah, it's about a 10-hour drive for me. Yeah.
Wow.
You know where Erie, Pennsylvania is?
It's probably on Lake Erie, right? No. Right on the edge of it?
Yeah. This is Pennsylvania, right? Illinois is over here.
Erie's I know where Pennsylvania is, yeah.
Erie's at the top here. Warren, we're about 65 miles east of Erie, about 20 minutes from the New York border. So I said, I just got to travel up this way all the way through New York to the thing. That's how. And I have a friend that I knew in Las Vegas. He lives 5 minutes from the fun spot. He moved there.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, it makes me jealous.
Yeah, me too. I admit it 100%. I don't live 5 minutes away from no arcade.
Now I'm a 3-hour drive from Pinball, PA, and I'm a 2-hour drive from Pastimes, but that's really not that bad. I can make it in a day, so it's okay.
James, you say you're not anywhere near a decent sized arcade?
Not really. The closest realistic arcade is probably the Barcade in Los Angeles, and I'm about 65 miles away from that.
Wow, literally. It's that far.
And honestly, we do not have any really big arcades in the San Fernando Valley, except Castle Arcade.
That's surprising to me.
Yeah.
Considering
I know.
Atari was based out of Sunnyvale. California Extreme is a major convention out there.
Yeah. But that's Northern California. It's not Southern California. That's the problem. Everything that's arcade related in California is all in Northern California. None of it's in Southern California. That's the problem.
I know there's somebody that's trying to open a arcade museum. Well, not arcade, a video game museum in the LA area. Is in the process of acquiring paraphernalia, and he has dibs on some of my items. from the Nintendo Campus Challenge if I choose to let them go. Well, he gets first dibs on the Geo Storm I still have.
Oh wow! Okay,
which is the prize.
I got you.
It runs. It finally works 100%. But good grief!
See, that's my whole problem. Is I cannot find an arcade that would like let me practice there. Not only for the arcade score, because that's gonna. This main thing is hard. I'll admit it is really hard because I had never played MAME Dig Dug before, and I was like, how much harder can it be than the arcade? And I found out it's hard in its own right, but when I start chasing this arcade world record, it's gonna jump to a whole nother level, and I got to be ready for it. I'm gonna let you know that now.
Micro switch joysticks do not work as well as leaf sticks. I say this to Mike all the time, and he knows what I'm talking about.
No, they do not. I agree. I agree 100%.
Let's see.
There's arcades out there. It's just a matter of trying to track them down.
Well, if you can get me in contact with that guy who's putting together a video game museum or something, and if he ends up with a Dig Dug, and I can like make some kind of agreement with him to maybe do a sponsoring event to break a world record there, I'm down. Like I'm totally down.
Oh, yeah, that's the leaf stick.
These are the leaf switches.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
They will always beat micro switches anytime, any day.
Yeah, you're right.
It depends on the game, though.
Depends on the game, yes. Yeah.
And the leaf switches, I've had problems with them on certain machines and trying to get, because some of the games that come and go are on leaf switches, and some of the time they're not registering.
Is Dig Dug on a leaf switch at Galloping Ghost? That's what I want to know. Is Dig Dug on a leaf switch?
It's probably on. Doc Mac is a stickler for original hardware, so if it's supposed to be a leaf switch, it's probably a leaf switch.
Yeah.
Okay. Because see, the other problem,
maybe not.
I'm an original.
Okay. Well, let me just say this: the other problem I'm having in California, and this is ridiculous because I don't understand it. I've only played on 2 good Dig Dugs my entire life as far as the arcade. Whenever I go to an arcade, I'm either dealing with a jacked up joystick or jacked up buttons or both.
Yeah.
Since I've been playing Dig Dug as an adult, I have never found a perfectly good working Dig Dug as an adult.
What about David's house? What about David's house?
No, his stick stuck. His stick was stuck to the left. Yeah, and I still broke 3 million. What was it? Like 3,300,000. I took 9th place. I have 9th place on Twin Galaxies. If you look at the arcade high score, or 10th place now, I have the 10th place high score, and I hadn't played Dig Dug in 20 years when I did that. I did no practicing other than the practicing I did at David's house. I did no practicing, and I still broke the top 10 of all time. I cannot find if I ever find a perfectly working Dig Dug and I master these patterns, I quit missing these pineapples, and I get this 2,500, I'm telling you right now, Ken House and Donald Hayes are in trouble. I'm going to leave it at that.
If anybody watching this, please help James Carter find a good working Dig Dug machine and set up a Twitch stream and maybe a live event where he can do an attempt to break the world
for 5
record
million.
Of 5 million.
5 million. Yes.
I'm
with it.
So we're gonna get this. We're gonna wind this down. Any final thoughts? We'll start with Mike.
Let them go first. Go ahead, y'all.
We got a question in the chat. Let's answer this. Actually, let's answer this question in the chat. Go ahead and answer it, everybody.
Did I use at home for MAME?
Well,
I'll let them take that. I'll let Mikey take that.
Answer that question. So it would lead to a follow-up question. The key follow-up question I would ask out of that is, well, what games are you planning to play? So, like, let's say if you're looking at your old school 4-way, 8-way classic 80 joysticks, then your Leaf joysticks are the best ones really to do. But then if you have 90s like games like Street Fighters, fighting games and so forth, Probably more on the micro switch side, most likely on that. So just like what he's showing, the X Arcade, I actually have that exact one. It's the tank stick with the trackball in the middle. And those are good. X Arcades are really good. Yep.
Yeah,
really
I'll show you. Let me show you mine. The one I actually broke 4.4 million on. Let me go get it. Hold on.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
I got it says the May Flash, the F500 Elite. This is the one I use when I play all my games.
Here, I can't take it off. Huh? Can you see it? Oh, yeah. Okay. Here.
In a second.
Okay. All right, check it out. This is the joystick that my sponsorship company bought for me. Now, even like I said, even though I got some haters out there, I definitely got some people that love me and people that want to see me break this world record just because they know there's nobody on earth that loves Dig Dug more than KBB. I can tell you that right now, except who is a close second. But outside of who, there ain't nobody on earth that loved this game more than me. So they bought me this, and they actually turned this into a 4-way. It was made in 8-way. They actually made this 8-bit do into a 4-way, and I was able to break 4.4 million with this joystick.
I know there's like the Doggone 60-in-1 board. There is a special stick where you can turn the other side to convert it to a 4-way and then switch it back to an 8-way at any time.
Little restrictor plate inside. I know that. So
yes, and Mike has his
Mikey's
controller.
got one too.
I'm the one that mentioned this to you first, James. This is the one, the 8-bit.
Yeah, I know. But remember, Gunther turned it into a 4-way for me. He turned it from an 8-way to a 4-way.
Yeah,
and he sent
you
it to
can
me.
modify these because by default they are an 8-way, but you could put a 4-way adapter. You can modify and do that because I've done that with mine as well too.
All right, now let's wrap it up. Final thoughts from everybody.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's start with Mike.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Mikey.
Hey, at least I could say is thank you for making me a guest here on the show. And yeah, some of us know that there is drama in video games in general. But look, I've had people ask me and start to bring up drama topics to me. You know what I just tell them? Look, all I care about is walking up to the machine, putting a credit in, whether if it's a quarter or a credit button, press start, play. That's it.
I will say this. The pro wrestling scene has rubbed off on the gaming scene. There are rivalries. We cut promos against each other, especially in the fighting game community, which we didn't really get to it because James is also a great player at Street Fighter 1. We didn't get into it, but I was going to ask if you were a regular participant in the fighting game community.
I'm on live stream.
I used to be when the original Sorry, Mikey, I don't mean to cut in on you.
That's okay.
When the original Street Fighter came out. Okay.
Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
When the original Street Fighter came. Okay, no problem. No problem, K-Dog. When the original Street Fighter came out, the Sherman Oaks Galleria in Sherman Oaks, California had a competition. To the first person to beat 12 city champions would become the Valley champion. I beat all 12 city champions in 10 weekends. I actually went the last 2 weekends, so I made sure I won. I went to 2 locations back to back on the same Saturday. I went to back-to-back locations on week 9 and back-to-back location on week 10. I actually started in Sherman Oaks, and I had to play my sensei, the person who taught me how to play Street Fighter. He was the first city champion I had to defeat, and I barely did it. Like, I got so lucky, like I pulled off like a foot sweep on him at the end. It wasn't like I dragon punched him or I did or fire. I swept foot him and I beat him. So when I did that, Sherman, it was an arcade called Timeout Arcade. They gave me $5,000 for becoming the Valley champion. I took that money
Yikes.
and
Wow.
I created like a wrestling belt that said Valley Champion in Street Fighter. I took that belt, and anytime anybody wanted to play me, they had to put up $5,000. I put up the belt. I got to decide what side of the arcade I wanted to start on, and I also got to decide how many games we went. I normally would play best out of 7 because that's what they do in sports. So that's what I did with Street Fighter. And and for 6.5 years, I competitively put that belt on the line every week. I started out as the Valley Champion. I went to Silmar. I became the multi-city Valley Champion in Street Fighter. And then I went to Westwood. And I challenged every city champion that would come out to Westwood to play me. And I became the California State Champion in the original Street Fighter. And to this day, I'm still undefeated. I've won over 8,000 competitions and never lost to nobody because I played with Ryu. That's who I won it with, and that's who my character is in Street Fighter, is Ryu.
I know somebody that might give you a match.
But originally he was called Ryu.
I know somebody. There's some good
We'll see.
Fighting game players
open.
around here. We have Bloody Wars tournament every so often.
I welcome all comers. Bring it.
Norbert Vale, if you're listening or watching this later, James Carter might be a challenge for you on. Now this is Street Fighter 1, not Street Fighter 2, 3, or 4, or 5. Correct?
This is no. Let me explain one thing. Originally, when the first Street Fighter came out, they were going to keep it the same exact way the original Street Fighter was, just add more characters. But then Capcom let some knucklehead come in, change the whole concept, and then when Street Fighter 2 came out, I stopped competing because I loved the format of the original Street Fighter. Yeah, it looked ghetto. Yeah, it looked kind of choppy, but it was amazing. And it was, and that was when they used to say Devil's Punch. Now they say, what is it that they say now? Because they used to say Devil's Punch, Devil's Punch, Devil's Punch. It's not, it's called something else now. From Street Fighter 2 on, they changed it.
Dragon Punch.
But I got so good at the original. Yeah, but they used to say Devil's Punch on the original game. If you listen to it, that's what it used to say. And I got it to the point to where I could Devil's Punch somebody, fireball them, hurricane kick them, and Devil's Punch them to beat them. That's how good I got. No one could touch me. At my best. And
you can still do that with Ryu on the.
When I used to go to Westwood, the arcade there used to pay me to come. Well, yeah, but I would have to relearn the whole system. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And with me being focused on Dig Dug right now, I don't want to put my focus on
anything else. Yes. He froze. Well, James, your video did freeze up, so
maybe I'll circle back around to it and do that. But yeah, for 6.5 years, every weekend, I never went to school. Like going to street tournament was like my number one thing when I was in college. Hold on.
Yeah, video is broken up. We'll go over to Kevin.
Video is broken up.
Last week
hold on. Let me change my internet.
We go to, and my auctioneer has got a centipede machine in his garage, and he's going to sell it to me. It's the first big video game I'm really actually going to buy. And he came up to me. He says, I found something, and first thing I thought of you. He says, I'm going to just give this to you. And if anybody remembers, you might remember. It's a little hard to see, but it's an original Aladdin's Castle token that he found.
Nice.
And he gave it to me, and it's like I lived at Aladdin's Castle. We had a mall here, and that's where I just ended up going there every weekend. That's all I wanted to do. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. Anybody who knows me knows that. I play games. Yep. It's a cheap habit, and it keeps me happy.
I can't
believe any chance I get to go to these arcades and just spend. I don't go for a day. Yes. I go for the whole.
There we go.
Everybody knows when I'm there. They're like, I'm the first one in. I'm the last.
Is it back?
Opening to closing, all the time. That's what I do, and it's just something people can say. Oh, why do you still play games and all that? It takes you back to your childhood, and it was a good time back then. Play games, be with your friends and stuff. So I've never grown out of it. When arcades started to fizzle out, that was a little tough. But then when they started to come back, I mean, it's making a big comeback, especially pinball. I mean, that thing is just like running rampant anymore.
Oh yeah.
But and I like to play both. But I said that's what I like to do. That's my high. I could do this every day. It's just so much fun to me. So.
All right, I want to thank you all for joining me here tonight. James is having technical difficulties, but no matter, we're at the end of the podcast anyway. And Mikey, that is your YouTube channel and your Twitch channel. I didn't even mention that throughout the whole daggum thing. Throw that up there. Follow him on YouTube and Twitch. I don't know if you've been streaming lately, but I do this podcast every Thursday and most Thursdays. I want to thank you for joining me, and James, who dropped away. I want to thank him.
One last shot.
Gosh, this cat took a bite. Yes. Oh, we got something right here. We got a trophy. Let's look at it. This trophy. A joystick.
One of 3. Little Pac-Man, pinball. This is actually the first PAC trophy. The recent one that Kevin got, but this is the very first one that was given out.
Mine's
2 years.
Mine's ago. A little smaller. He's got the big trophy.
Yeah, mine was. It was a gizmo, and it multiplied by water. That's all I can
say. I'm also chasing belts myself.
Yeah.
I want belts to chase, and it's been difficult to find people or find arcade tournaments lately. And
that's for sure. Yeah.
Yes, beginner of the year chase is still a thing, which is what these are for now. But yes, James, thank you for joining me. Mike, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, no problem.
And Kevin.
Are we still doing closing arguments? Because I have one more thing I want to say.
Oh, go ahead.
If that's okay. Okay.
Go ahead.
I just want to thank. I know I've done this before, but I know he's feeling kind of down right now because there's a certain situation that happened. But I need to thank Gunther Vincent like a lot because a lot of what's happened to me is because of him. I'm actually sponsored by uplayarcade.com, Retro Recon, and a couple other companies because of Gunther Vincent. He actually took the time to help me accomplish this, along with a few other people who, Mikey, David Lucius, Bruce Galick. Like, it's a long list. My accomplishment of breaking this record, it involves a village. It's not just me. It's not just because, I'm a great Dig Dug player and I can beat anybody. I mean, I do believe that to a point, but I don't take it that well and that far because, you know what I'm saying? I still have a lot to learn. Yes, I've been playing Dig Dug since I was 11 years old. Yes, I'm coming up on 54 in 5 days, but I still have a lot to learn. And one thing I've always learned about life, when people help you accomplish something, you acknowledge those people. And Gunther Vincent is definitely one of those people. I know he's going through a situation right now with this arcade like tour thing he was doing and something happened. I don't even know what happened. All I know is that he disappeared off of Facebook and it actually messed up what I was trying to do because we were a couple of weeks away from me attempting this world record for real. And it messed that up. And I don't blame him at all because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. Like I said, it's a village of people. It's about, realistically, I'll be honest with you, it's about 50 people that helped me accomplish this. But the people that helped me accomplish it the most honestly, Gunther Vincent's on that list. David Lucius is on that list because he actually came out from Riverside to pick me up and have me play at his house on his Dig Dug. Bruce Galick is on that list. Dana Klein's on that list. Baseface is on that list. Mikey is on that list. Kevin's on that list. Like it's a deep thing, man. But more than anything, I wanted to say thank you, Gunther, for everything you did for me. I never publicly got a chance to thank you, and I'm doing that now. Whether you come back to Facebook or we never see you again, I'm very, very grateful for what you did to me and for me. So thank you.
I believe he would appreciate that. Hopefully, somebody will send this stream to him so he can see this. I will announce my guest for next week. I don't know if you guys know this gentleman, but he was one of the people who responded to my search for guests. It is, oops, I thought I had this ready. So here we go. Leonard Herman, who is the author of Phoenix, Fall and Rise of Video Games, and he has 5 different trading cards.
Yeah.
Which is more than some people. Well, more than a lot of us.
No, I never heard of him.
I have. I remember him being on G4 TV on some of the documentaries.
Well, he will be on the podcast next week. He'll be my solo guest, and we'll talk about video gaming history.
I think I lost the stream. Oh, there we go.
You're still with us, James. Just audio only and a frozen video, but no matter. We're at the end of the podcast, so thank you all for joining me here tonight, and maybe I'll see you around the Galloping Ghost Arcade relatively soon.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Game on.
All right.
All right.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Okay. So, let me hide this for a second. All right. So next week will be Leonard Herman on the Crimeycade. Let me throw this up here before we get out. This weekend, if you're in the Chicago area, specifically Orland Park, Let's Go Retro Gaming Expo 2025 will be at the Orland Park Civic Center Sunday, the 23rd, starting at 10 a.m. Some special guests are expected to be out there, such as Brian Colin. Some of the Midway Monster contingent will be out there at this expo, but there's like 60 to 100 vendor tables selling retro games and a bunch of other stuff. I won't be up there. Only $5 admission. But if you're in the Chicago area, go ahead and check that one out. The next Bloody Wars game has been announced. It will be Tekken 7. It'll be on Saturday, March the 22nd. It looks like the Headless Horseman on March the 9th is off, because I haven't heard anything new about that. And there's an issue with the game they originally chose. So maybe another day for that. But the next game will be Tekken 7. And I might go to this. We'll see. And of course, the Midwest Gaming Classic on April the 4th through the 6th at the Bard Center. If you don't have your VIP tickets, you're about gone. Yes, thank you for joining us, Pancreas. We'll have more next week. Should I rate a channel, or should I just because I think everybody's going to bed at this point, since it's a little after 10:30. But Galloping Ghost did announce this week that they are going back to C2E2. I'm not going to make it to there because, it's a week after Midwest Gaming Classic, and there's now last year there was a title match between me and James White. Since it was just me and James, I think they're just not going to do a title. They're not going to do a C2E2 tournament this time, I don't think. I think it's just not the interest from the attending public. They're not there to play for a tournament. They're there to look at comics and anime and get autographs and who knows what, and seminars and stuff. So it was worth a try, but I don't think it just wasn't the interest from the patrons to participate in this thing. And it's just me and James White fighting for the belt last year. in the best of 5. So, I hope they go back to Pinball Expo though. Biggest gaming event in mid-Missouri. Yeah, this is the week after, and I'm probably going to go back to this if I get the blues for not getting enough out of the Midwest Gaming Classic. New venue, the Northeast Center in Columbia, Missouri. So this is apparently going to be some bigger space instead of the lodge that they were doing it at the last few years, or last 5 years or so. Starting at 10 o'clock on Saturday. And I believe that was it. And yes, my guest. And that'll do it for this week. So, everybody, well, thank you all for joining me tonight. And next week, yes, Leonard Herman. And I should get some, I have a little bit of commentary I need to get off my chest, and I haven't been able to do it. So maybe I can get it done this week. Next week. And I'm going to start hacking up along in a minute. I want to thank Get to the Choppa for following my Twitch stream. Thank you for that, and that'll be in the scroll next week. Jack Cogs, Stupendous Man, Pancreas, thank you. Till next time, I'm the Magazine Crybiter, Stephen Lucas, former Game of the Year. Hope to see you around the arcade soon, and have a good night, everybody.